report that over 1,000 people have died while seeking supplies.
This condemnation comes amidst ongoing concerns about the humanitarian crisis in the region.
At least 20 people have been killed after a Bangladesh Air Force jet crashed into a school in Dhaka. The incident occurred earlier today, causing significant casualties and damage. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
The Air Force has stated that the F-7B GI training jet experienced a mechanical fault shortly after takeoff.
A deadly wave of Russian missiles has pummeled Ukraine, causing widespread damage and casualties.
Kyiv's drones have also sparked Moscow airport disruptions.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, widely recognized for his role as Theodore Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has reportedly passed away at the age of 54 due to drowning.
The news has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and among his fans.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted
I don't know about
as
shockwaves
for
Theo.
Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
What's the last thing Theo was in? Cosby Show. Sorry. I don't mean to be mean. It comes naturally.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I better get my bum bum bum. That's all I'm saying. Why am I on the screen?
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Oh, there you go. Where's my bum bum?
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
How about them Epstein files, huh? That list. How about that? I don't know. I'm not supposed to talk about that. How about that shitty music? Oh, man's mad at me now. Look at them. They're all angry. They're walking out. Good morning, you degenerates, you people with nothing better to do than harass me every morning. It's good to have you here. It's Tuesday morning, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. A beautiful day in the neighborhood, as they say. Normally I would just go right into politics. And if John Beaver's, the Beaver Man, Slaptail Nation, Slaptail Squad, Slaptail, slap your mother's tail. I don't know. There's nothing about your mother in there. I just threw that in there. John will be with us eventually, soon, probably. But before I even just rant about politics or any stupid shit like that, I got to give you some Mets stuff. Yeah, Mets, New York Mets. All right. I know most of you people are not even New Yorkers, so you don't care. But I got to talk about this because, believe it or not, this might come as a shock. I got in a fight on Twitter, a Twitter fight. I know. Just get a hold of yourself. Because David Wright, I'm sorry if you don't understand Met stuff. David Wright, who had retired several years ago because of injuries, cut his career short, blah, blah, blah. He was the Mets captain. They retired his number last night. I was a huge supporter of David Wright. I used to go to Norfolk, Virginia to watch him play when he was in the minors, waiting for them to call him up. I was a huge supporter of David Wright. And then in 2007, in the last week of August, the Mets were in first place by 6.5 games over the Philadelphia Phillies. David Wright, on my birthday, August 30th, was giving an interview talking about how he was looking forward to the postseason, and this was the Mets year. And I was thinking, this is not a good. You're going to choke. And the Mets went on to choke in a historical fashion and lost and didn't even make the playoffs that year. The Philadelphia Phillies overcame them, and it was tragic. And the next year came, and they were vowing to not let that happen again. And going into September, the Mets were again in first place. I'm not sure if it was by like 5 games, 4 games, but it and the same thing happened. And not only did the same thing happen, but it came down to David Wright's actual personal responsibility when the last series of the season, Philadelphia had lost a game. They were tied now. Philadelphia had lost during the day, and all David Wright had to do, he came up in the 9th inning in a tie game with the bases loaded and nobody out. All he had to do was not strike out, make contact, and he struck out on 3 pitches way out of the strike zone, and basically ended their season and their hopes of making the playoffs, and thereby solidifying the second in a row, back-to-back, biggest collapse, worst collapse in major league history. 2 years in a row. And what did the team do? They made him captain. Yeah, selfish. Well, yeah, again, I know I can't. I could never play Major League Baseball. I couldn't make contact. But his job was to not strike out, just make contact or walk or get hit by a pitch. Just you had bases loaded and nobody out. Struck out on 3 pitches out of the zone. The next 2 batters did the same. And the season was over. And I stopped watching baseball then. Now, the other night, David Wright had his number retired, and the Mets fans are going crazy about what he did, what he meant to the team. And I'm like the only voice out there, the curmudgeon, I'm not just searching for a word here, but his record as the leader of the team, the captain of the team, was a losing record. Never won any championships, and he has the 2 greatest collapses in history, in the history of Major League Baseball. The 2 worst collapses in September to not make the playoffs. He owns them directly. And they're celebrating him like, oh, he means so much to the team. His leadership was great. You people are delusional. This guy, and every year, basically, except for 2015, when they made it to the World Series but failed, every year they were a laughing stock. And this is what Met fans celebrate. So Met fans are not happy with me for reminding them of this. And they're making every kind of, well, baseball's a team sport. Yes, it's a team sport, but the bases were loaded with nobody out, and all he had to do was make contact, get his face hit by a pitch, walk, cheat. That's your leadership. So David Wright sucks. He doesn't deserve to have his number 5 retired. That was Ed Charles' number when I was a kid. Now, who am I? I gave up the Mets. I gave up baseball upon that strikeout and vowed not to go back to the game till the Wilpons, who were the owners of the team, sold the team then. I thought Wright would be actually an old man by the time that happened. And I guess he is an old man because he's retired now. But so, Met fans, David Wright sucks. And if you know what? If he was a black dude, none of these fucking people would be on it, idolizing him. Truth is, he was the white hope. He would. I hate to make everything about race. It's not about race generally, but in David Wright's case, all these little white boys from Queens, seeing their whiteness, their white majority being threatened, clung to David Wright like the great white hope. If a black guy had the same record as him, he would have been booed out of town. Sorry. Or a brown guy had the same record of him. He would have never made captain. You look conversely to Derek Jeter and his record with the Yankees while he was captain. It's like way over 500, like 400 games over 500. Wright's is under 500 by almost 200 games. Leadership, and you celebrate that. So that's what I'm starting with here today. I just needed to get that on tape so I could have some reels to play for the idiots on Twitter to remind them of who their guy is. And I'm sure people are going to push back on that racism comment I made, but I'm certain that if he were a black man or a brown man, they wouldn't have had that teen idolization of David Wright that they had. So fuck David Wright. Are you with me? Give me a fuck David Wright in the comments if you're with me, or a fuck you dog if you're in the comments and the blah blah blah. I'm gonna play a commercial. We'll come back. We'll say hello to GD, and then we'll introduce the Beaver Man, the leave it to Beaver, the Slaptail Nation king or captain of the Slaptail Nation, Slaptail Squad. Anyway, here, let's play this.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Oh, what the hell kind of layout is that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me right now are David Wright's Bat Boy, GD Fenderson. He was David Wright's greatest fan. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
What shoe is that?
Did your wife try to wake you up from a bad dream you were having, and when she stroked your face, you bit her hand? And did you go online immediately to...
How did you know that? How did you know that happened to me this morning? That's incredible.
And did you go online to order that beautiful bathrobe that she wanted? Just me? No? Okay. MindDogTV.com/merch. Go there and order something really nice for your wife if you bit her hand last night.
That's not going to happen. Well, it's interesting that what are you, peeping Tom now? You're looking in my windows? What's going on? Anyway, so you're a big David Wright fan, well, you love David Wright. Even though you were...
Yeah, that's why I put that shoe up there, because I used to, when I played ball, I wore the number 5 for David Wright. And so since they're retiring his jersey, I decided I would retire my shoe as well.
Yeah. So if you said what I said about the race thing, people would just dismiss it as just another angry black man. But it's true. If he were...
true. I am an angry black man. Yes, it's true.
Oh no, that's definitely true. But if he were not, it's not just the whiteness. It's that the innocent, the fucking teen idol look that he carried around, this clean cut, whatever. Father was a cop. I'm as white could be.
His daddy was a cop on the east side of Chicago.
No, in Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Tennessee. There's no such thing. Anyway, fuck David Wright. People act, well, you just got a bone in for him. Yeah, I do, because you know why? I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on tickets over the years, season tickets every year for 30 years. I invested a lot in that team, and what
position did David Wright play?
Third base.
Third. Oh, damn. See, because if you had asked me, do you know who David Wright is? I would have said he played second base for the Mets. See, because he
played third base like he was playing second base. No, he was actually a pretty good fielder, and he was actually a pretty good hitter when he was, but they made him a leader.
Under pressure, he was a very good hitter.
Yeah. Well,
when the game didn't matter, he was a very good hitter.
Yeah, he was a very good talker. He loved the camera, and he loved giving these rah-rah speeches and stuff. And when it came down to it, listen, people say, yeah, things happen in baseball. Howard Johnson, who played third base for the Mets when they won the World Series the last time in 1986, which is coming up on 40 years ago next year. Hojo was trying. Well, things happen in baseball, and you hate them, and you live with it, and you don't live with it. It haunts you. Yeah, but you could say that. But they had the biggest choke in history in 2007 and vowed not to let it happen again in 2008, and then watched it happen in 2008. And when it came down to all you got to do is get hit by a pitch, walk, even pop out, ground out, hit into a double play, you still would have done what needed to be done. But you swung at 3 pitches way up here, and like you were swinging for the fences. You didn't shorten your stroke at all. And basically, it was a selfish move. So I'm not going to back off that. And they're fucking, oh, dude, you got to let it go. You don't know me. I'm a fucking pit bull with this. I'm going to die saying, David Wright sucks. That's going to be my last word. Am I getting too angry here? It's early in the morning. It's Tuesday. What's going to happen?
And
today?
it's only baseball. It's not like it's only baseball.
You're right.
I mean, true. What you're saying is absolutely true. David Wright, even though I have no idea who he is does not deserve those accolades. Damn it.
No,
I agree with you.
And let me just say this: they say, "Oh, I could never walk. If you bleed orange and blue, you can never walk away from the team." I will say that the 12 years I went without watching a single pitch, happiest years of my life. Happy. It's only baseball. You're right. People live like, oh, I can't give up on the team. What am I going to? I live, and I did. I based my life around this team. If they won, I was happy. If they were lost, I was angry or sad or whatever. And the minute I gave that up, life got better. When life started to get worse again was when Mikey dragged me to a fucking Met game at Citi Field. I should have never let him take me there. So that's it.
I tend to agree with you, but I'm not one to try to get my passions involved in things I can't control or benefit from. Man. So if I'm going to be that passionate about something, it's going to be something that I can enjoy something not enjoyment, something that I personally have accomplished or I personally am involved in. And I shouldn't have to say I personally, because if I say that implies it's personal.
You should say I am the Frito Bandito. That's what you should say.
Aye.
All right. Now, are you getting hate mail and threats by people? Because apparently, it's not just the David Wright stuff. There are people who hate me. I don't know if you're aware of this. I've created a lot of hate.
But it's like they say, hatred starts at home. So
you're right.
I think that's what they say.
I don't know, but it sounds good. Let's go with that. Oh, well, it actually starts in somebody's backyard, I think. This guy just this morning he wants to just say a word on the show about me, and then when we'll let this guy go, and we'll say hello to John Beavers, but the Beaver Man.
Everything on? All right then.
It looks dangerous. It's got a rifle of some sort.
My name is Caleb Lee Pinkerton. I'm 100% American. You know what that means?
No.
Let me tell you what's going on with this country. There's a problem with people like you and your woke, liberal tard agenda, Mr. Matt Nepo. I've been hearing all kinds of things about you and your Mind Dog TV and your woke liberal agenda.
I don't have an agenda.
Oh, yeah. That's what's wrong with this country. People like you. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, my God.
Goddamn chipmunk.
Look at the strength. No kick on that gun at all. It's just one hand in it.
People like you don't respect Donald J. Trump trying to save this country from liberal fucks like you.
Wow.
My daddy and his daddy before him, well, I mean, they could have served in the military just like I could have. But
they tried to enlist.
They got
I hope
chronic
Beaver
road
isn't listening to
toenails,
this
the Marine
because
Corps, Navy SEAL Team 5.56 recruited me heavily, and I wanted to go,
I want a beard like that.
but I also had the chronic ingrown toenail, and I couldn't. But that's not the point. The point is I'd have gone if I could have gone, but I couldn't, and I wanted to go.
Wow.
Shit, my recruiter told me, he said, Caleb, don't tell them about your chronic ingrown toenail. It perpetually hurt you, but that's not the point, Mr. Napo. Your name sounds goddamn Iranian to me. I don't think he's 100%.
That's fair.
American. But I'm watching you from now on.
Well, that's good. I
Agenda.
keep watching.
That Biden and Obama didn't fuck up this country, because they did.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Fucking opossum. Fuck it.
Oh, he's shooting a possum? I don't know. GD's going to take offense to that.
You're fucking right, I am.
So, yeah, people are not liking me. Go figure. I'm not that likable. But hello, Ian's in the back room there. I like that beard. I got to say, the beard was impressive.
I'm thinking that somebody shopped at Party City before they went out of business.
Oh, yeah. What, do they sell those guns? Because no kick.
I would love to have one of those guns. That gun looked kind of.
I'm going to need one of those guns, I think. Apparently, because just to protect myself. Oh, look who's here. Looks like our guest has arrived.
That looked like standard military equipment. I'm going to ask John.
I tried to enlist, but they wouldn't let me because they said I was a woke liberal. I'm not a woke. First of all, I was half asleep, so that woke stuff is way out of line. Our guest today is the former captain of the Slaptail Squad Mets. He played third base for them for 18 years, hit 7 home runs in all that time. Or 6.
Yeah, but he did hit those home runs from the middle of the plate. Most people go to the left-hand side or the right-hand side, and he stood right in front of the catcher with his ass cheeks right there and hit all 7 of those home runs.
And he's got a lot of stuff going on. Like August 5th, he likes the 5th. Speaking of David Wright's number 5, he's got a open mic thing going on August 5th, and then on September 5th and 6th. I think September 5th and 6th. He's having our good friend Jackie the Joke Man Martling out into Grand Rapids, whatever state that is, to go talk about his movie Q&A thing. His name is John Beavers. He's known as the Beaver Man and the captain of the Slaptail Squad. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How is my sound?
It's pretty good. There was a little echo. Is that me? Echo.
Well, we didn't start until we brought the beef man in.
You're echoing. Yeah, we're all echoing. What, John? You brought your echo with you. Yeah, it's going to be a little tough talking over. Oh, now it's gone away, right? The echo's gone.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
Okay, good. I clicked on the echo cancellation, which I don't usually use when we podcast, but sometimes I guess it works.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. How things going out in Michigan? Now, you're in Kalamazoo, not Grand Rapids, right? Kalamazoo.
I'm actually in a small town between Battle Creek and Grand Rapids. It's called, Battle Creek and Kalamazoo, called Galesburg. So it's a really tiny town, but it's right centrally located. So it's
population what?
4.5. Yeah, don't.
Oh, you counting that vet in the wheelchair?
Yeah.
Oh, Battle Creek is that really? That's the cereal capital, right?
It is. Yep. That's the home of Tony the Tiger, Post, Ralston, Purina, all that other fun stuff.
How did those people take to what was it, Pop-Tart, the Jerry Seinfeld movie? Did they appreciate that?
I have no idea because I haven't even seen it, or I'm not a huge Seinfeld fan.
You would think that the community would at least talk about it, though, right? Because it features it's the capital of cereal in the world, the cereal capital of the world.
It's kind of nice though, because in certain areas of Battle Creek, it smells like Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops, and then other areas it smells like burnt cereal because I guess during World War II they used to burn cereal to make it like a coffee substance called I think it's like postum or something like that. I don't know.
Wow. Did you work in the cereal industry when you were a kid? And I mean, is that the thing people do?
No, yeah. Michigan in general is a big factory state. I mean, I got the auto industry, you got cereal. A lot of auto parts are made in Battle Creek also. So for like Toyota.
Y'all kind of got it lucky because there's a town that I would drive through occasionally in Pennsylvania, and they are a paper mill town.
Ugh.
And when you drive through, it smells like rotten rotten eggs. It's just awful. It's just fucking awful. I don't even know how long you have to live there before you don't smell it anymore. I mean,
yeah, we have a town close to us called Parchment, and that's the way it used to smell. It doesn't smell like that now, so I don't know if they actually make paper there anymore or not. But yeah.
That Parchment, I guess, loose leaf was taken.
Because Parchment is not paper, but yeah, okay,
right.
Anyway,
yeah, you know what? I'm getting attacked on because for being a liberal woke guy on Twitter right now. So
that guy was scary. That guy was scary.
Yeah,
I still kick his ass though. So
I think you take him, even with the gun. I think you could take his gun and beat his ass with it.
Oh yeah, I'd shove it where. Well, he might like it. He might like it because they're all secretly closeted. So he might back right into it.
You can't eat a possum if it's full of bullets, right? Or I mean, because I think it's too small to kill like that way and still make food out of it.
Well, you notice he didn't show that he actually hit the possum. He's probably notoriously a bad shot. So
the issue we'll focus on John and his podcast and his comedy productions and all that stuff in just one moment. I just want to say, Andy Nagu, Andy Nagu, NGO. I don't know how you pronounce that last name. NGO Nagu. He's talking about LA raising money. The actors and actresses, and aligned with the Democratic Party, have raised money for the LA fire victims, and all the money was misappropriated. So I went into Grok. I said, was the money really misappropriated? And Grok said, there's no evidence whatsoever that the money was misappropriated. It went through nonprofits, but was distributed correctly. And there are people on on Twitter making false accusations about this. I reposted that what Grok said, and somebody says, "Get off your lazy ass and prove there was no misappropriation of funds," instead of criticizing Andy for bringing awareness to what no one else has. Isn't it the person making the accusations responsibility to prove there was, not the person saying, "No, you're full of shit," to say responsibility to say there wasn't? I got to prove there wasn't a crime. He doesn't have to prove there was a crime. Am I missing something there?
You are missing something. The crime is that you actually paid attention to that asshole. That's the real crime.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. But he's not going to come and shoot me because he's been shot himself, I think.
Well, actually, I think NGO is military for non-gun
operator.
Yeah, no.
John,
gun
I don't know if you know
operator.
this about me. I tried to enlist in the Army, but I had a little dick.
Oh, yeah, micro penis.
Yeah. So
the Navy would have taken you.
I couldn't help but notice that you got a little irritated by Bear saying that more than once he tried to enlist. What I understand, somebody who it's not that hard to enlist, but trying to enlist. What is it about people saying that irritates you?
It's one of our favorite jokes among military people. I'm not the only one. We all say that because whenever we talk to people, most of us don't bring up the fact that we were in the military in the first place. Most people can just tell, they're usually. So when people say, the first thing that a lot of people like to say is, well, I almost joined, but, and you're like, shut the fuck up. You don't need to tell me that. I don't care. The fact that you didn't is okay. That's on you. The majority of the population did not serve in the military. I think it's like less than 14% of the people served. So you don't have to tell us that. We don't care. It's just annoying. We don't need to hear it.
I worked very hard to avoid recruiters. They can't. I remember coming home from where I worked an overnight shift, and my wife was waiting at me at the door. She said, "There's an Army recruiter here for you." I was like, "What?" I had a conversation with a guy outside of a post office, and all of a sudden he's looking me up in the white pages, finding out where I live, and waiting for me to get home. It seems like they're very, at least when I was in my 20s, they were very aggressive about.
Oh, yeah, I was talking to recruiters at the age of 15. So I mean, they were in, the Marines, and it was typically I don't think I ever really saw Air Force, Navy, or Coast Guard recruiters. Our school pretty much mostly had Marines and Army that came.
Yeah.
Now, did y'all have like ROTC there, and that's what drew them there, or is it just
no? It was
just
just we had a super tiny school. We didn't have any type of military, anything like that. So
wow. So now we'll forget about that because it just seemed like Bear was rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And I like Bear. He's a decent guy. He's a good guy. He's got a good heart. He does filibuster a lot.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
But John, when I was in school, one of the people in my class was a vet, and we were talking for a while, and he goes, "You served, right? You served." And I said, "No." He says, "You look like you served. You act like you served. You talk like you served." And I said, "No." I said, "The closest I came to war was I was in street gangs." He goes, "It's the same." He goes, "It's the same mentality." And I was like, I don't think I couldn't equate that, because when I was younger, street gangs didn't have guns. We had knives
and chains, bicycle chains.
Yeah, literally, that's what we had. And so, and I'm thinking when he thinks of street gangs, that I was like around people with guns, and like, no.
He's thinking more like organized crime as opposed to like a regular, like the back in this day school, the old street gangs type.
Yeah, we just did hand to hand. You get attacked with a knife and you fight back, with your belt or something like that. That's it.
So it was
just funny that he thought being in a gang made, my being in a gang for some reason came off like I had actually served in the military.
You got MS-13? Let me see. MS-13.
No, I don't have any.
No, him. He was in a gang. He's the one saying he was in a gang.
Mine's a Los Patos. That's on my chest, though.
Anyway.
I have gazpacho on my chest, but that's because I'm very messy when I eat.
Oh, gazpacho's delicious. So good. So good.
So now, were you planning on starting a comedy career when you got out of the military? Was that a plan, or did it just happen?
No, I foolishly wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, which is a stupid idea.
Did you do any of it? Like, did you?
No. I wanted to. So there's in Kalamazoo, they have a college called Western Michigan University, actually in NHL, the collegiate hockey champs this year, which is cool. But they had it was a liberal arts college, and they were pretty well known for having like a theater program. And then we have a pretty impressive theater near us called the Barn Theater that had theater all constantly. Like Tom Wopat, if you guys remember who that is, he started like there. That was like
second base for the Mets.
Yeah, second base for the Mets. No, he was in the Dukes of Hazzard. Anyway.
I gotta look him up. I know the name. I can't put the face. I can't put the face to Tom Wopat.
He was the dark-haired one out of the Dukes of Hazzard. So he was Luke.
Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, it seems to me that acting is easier to get into, start doing that, than stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy takes an extra ball. You need an extra ball or you just have to have a really thick skin to be able to go up there, because 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 or 9.9 out of 10 people, the first time they're going to do it, they're going to embarrass themselves. They're going to be so bad. And you have to be able to just not care about that to continue on. Whereas acting, you go in and there's a group of people, they're all very supportive. They understand it's your first time, and it's not like you want to kill yourself. So it just seems like that would be an easier thing to get into than stand-up comedy. I hate that, but do you remember your first venture into stand-up?
Yeah, I actually did good. and then I just did shitty after that, and it's never stopped. So I know I'm always waiting for. I haven't been heckled yet, which is surprising.
You know why? Because you scare, you're intimidating them. That's why. No, you look like you might kill somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but Matt, I've never been
I've been
heckled,
told
and I
that.
don't have that look. I've never been heckled in a show, and I do not have that.
You have
look
an entire cottage industry built around heckling you on the internet.
I don't care what anybody says. GD is still the champ. He's still he's still the champ to me.
Yeah, I agree.
We should definitely talk about that though. GD, I thought if I could, if it's okay, do you mind if I?
Sure.
I loved your parodies. The writing was really good. It was really good because you did stuff in your songs that, like, I thought you were going to go one way, but you went the other way. So you took the hard route instead of like rhyming stuff that would be easy or doing a really something easy lyrically that people would say. Like if you're singing along with a song and you can't remember the words, you know how we fill in words automatically.
Yeah. Anything that pops into
anything that pops into your head. You didn't do that. And you might have done it because you have such a higher IQ than the rest of us. Maybe that's how you did it. But like my immature brain immediately started to do the lyrics that I thought you were going to do, and you went like a totally different direction.
No, but I start off
which was good because that was the surprise. What you're supposed to have with comedy is you're supposed to go in a direction that we don't think you're going to go, which surprises us.
That's
well, I'm going to say thank you, but all of my parodies. Well, no, I'll take that back. Some of my parodies literally start off just like what you said. Like there's a romantic song, "What I Like About You." The first time I did that, my wife and I were just driving in the car, and it came on, and I just started singing, "What I Like About Shoes." Okay, and then I got to the end of the song, and I went, "No, this is not the way the song should go." When I got to the end, when I got to the very end, when they go, I went, "Oh no, it's not shoes." But I didn't tell my wife. My wife had never. I just went home and I rewrote it. Well, I actually wrote it for the first time because in the car I was just making shit up and whatever.
Once where they took a bunch of comedians and they put them in an empty theater and they were just all mic'd and videoed. And then in like a green room area, they had all the comedians and they were watching on a screen while they performed to no audience.
Yeah.
And the only one who absolutely killed was Maria Bamford. She acted like there was nobody. She didn't give a shit. Well, yeah, that's why, because Maria doesn't give a shit because she's Maria Bamford.
But she does. This is why.
Her heart's broken when she gets off stage every time. She says
but not only that. This is why it's surprising me. She recruits strangers to do Zoom shows to practice in front of them because she can't practice without an audience. She said that to me several times when I've tried to. Because I asked her what do you even bother with these strangers and doing your act in front of them? She said, "I find it really hard to work to even practice my stuff without an audience. It's good to have somebody there, even if they're eating or whatever they're doing. They're not even paying attention." So it surprises to me that in a big theater, she felt comfortable doing that, where she can't even feel comfortable in her own home doing that. It's really
God, Maria Bamford, recruit me. I would love to watch you run your shit. Oh my God, how cool would that be?
Follow her on Twitter. She does it probably at least once a month. So there was a point where during COVID where she was doing it every day, and she offers them a T-shirt, and then I'll take you to lunch or whatever. I'm asking for 45 minutes of your time to watch me run through my set.
Holy shit! I have to join Twitter just to do that.
I know a comedian. I know a professional comedian who does the same thing. Dylan. Well, I don't know how often he does it, but Dylan Brody, if he has like a show that he's working on, occasionally he'll send out an invite, and I get, I'm one of those people who get an invite, and he'll do the show, and then he'll ask for your feedback.
Damn.
Yeah, right. he'll tell you beforehand that go ahead and. You can take notes. You can take some notes and stuff.
No feedback. Fuck that. I don't want.
And then it says and he'll ask for your feedback. He wants you to take notes and laugh and stuff. And then he'll go, "What did you think of this? What did you think of that? Was there anything in there that you thought I should take out, or anything that you didn't think I'd delve deep enough into?" And he
Yeah,
does
I'd be
that.
curious to ask him if he ever got anything of value from that feedback from them, because
He did, because I was one of the feedbackers.
See, clearly, obviously, you didn't realize that he had prefaced that whole thing that was GD's feedback that would be crucial to his final set.
My bad. I should have known.
Yes. That's matter of fact. He goes like, okay, the rest of y'all can just shut the fuck up. I want to know what GD thinks.
Right. I should have known. You say you single handedly saved his career. We should retire you.
No.
But I just want to say what you did was really hard, GD, and I do applaud you for it. You did seem nervous.
Oh man, I don't know why. Well, I know why now, but I didn't know why then, and I couldn't fix it. I was telling Matt, I think I told Matt yesterday, I have a routine that I do before everything, and it gets me like there. Gets me
take a shit, take a big.
No, that's earlier in the day.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, what you saw last night, what people saw last night was Glenn Fenderson performing, not GD Fenderson. GD Fenderson was not there, and I didn't finish my routine to wake him up, so to speak.
Gotcha.
It's a different personality.
But the fact that you could do 90 minutes, that's insane. I mean, that's crazy that you could just consistently. What did you sing? 15 songs? You did 15 parodies, something like that.
I cut one.
Did you? Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I'm not trying to suck your dick. I'm just telling you that was pretty. I thought that was impressive. So
you need a bigger vacuum.
I have a small mouth, so
but you're right. I was suffering. I mean, like after, because I knew something was off. As soon as I knew something was off, 30 seconds in, I could feel it. And I could feel it, and I looked at the clock, and I went, "Why?" Because I had a countdown clock, and I looked at the clock and said, "Holy shit! I still got 89 minutes to go."
See, I know you're in charge of the merch here, but I think I have an idea that will sell. If you could just edit out all the jokes and just leave the suffering, I think we could sell that. I think people are chomping at the bit to just buy whatever it was, 45 minutes of suffering or 50 minutes, whatever it comes out to. If we could do that.
There's somebody just asked a question. I don't know if you're serious. My website is sogdfunny.com. You go to my website, pull down the menu, and I think
I'll do one for you here right now. I see a black car. No, I think I see a red car, and I think the driver's black. That's what it is.
That's my painted black parody.
Donate,
and I love that one. I love that one.
Buy a super chat or something for GD just for that song right now. Come on, put $1 in his cup.
Okay, but now can I be the dick though about your show?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. I think that what you should do is actually release your parodies like as singles, but you should have someone who can professionally play the guitar and sing. Not that you have a horrible voice, but I think I think the writing is really good. And maybe you're better when you're not nervous. And I'm not saying you were bad.
No, I know. You don't have to clarify. I was there.
I'm just saying the alfalfa voice cracking throughout.
See,
I had this thing full of water, and not once did I take a sip until like an hour in.
Right, you were like almost done. I think you were almost done before you took a drink of water. I don't know. It was a while.
And that's not what I do. I mean, I literally take a sip between songs. I mean, that's part of my routine. I take a sip between songs, and I make myself do it. You know, I have a note. I have a set list. You know, so I know what I'm doing in what order. Yeah. And my set list will say, introduce this song with such and such. This is the song, and then it says, take a sip of water. You know, that's and when I'm taking a sip of water, I'm actually looking at the set, saying, what am I going to do next? Like this. And often I have the set list printed on the back of my thing here.
No wonder you were playing everything upside down and backwards.
He wrote it in black.
I was grateful that I got offered a gig Saturday night and made some money instead of having to sit home to go. But now I would give up that pay to just see.
No, you wouldn't. Don't say that now. Don't say, because that money is already spent. You spent that money on hookers and weed.
Pissed. Actually, I was pissed because 3 of the people on his plausible was our people.
Wow.
Oh man,
and I was like, and I messaged Steve, and I'm like, where the fuck are you at?
And here's the worst part. I had people saying, if everybody showed up that told me they were going to show up, that for the plausible thing, I'd have probably had like 50 people in the crowd.
That's showbiz,
comedy.
man.
Showbiz.
My entire life.
But I'm talking about friends. People that I have to see the next day, and they'll go like, like my sister-in-law. Okay,
like me.
Oh no, I don't count you because I don't ever expect you to show for anything that lasts longer than 20 minutes.
That's true. Well, I do this every day that lasts more than 20 minutes. But you know what? But I go back to 1973, one of my first shows where I can't tell you how many people. Well, I'm definitely going to be there. Definitely going to be there. Not one of them showed up. It's the way it is. People lie.
Yeah.
Well, they intend to show up, and then something happens. Like somebody offers them a gig for some decent money, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll do that." Shit happens.
But man, I don't think you said that I was going to be there.
Yeah.
And if you did, you probably would have said, "I will try to be there." Which, when people say, "I will try to," I just say, I take out that as a no.
Yeah. What's the try? I mean, what do you have to try to do? Just say no. You're not going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, but these are like I said, my family, my in-laws. People who are saying things like and people who've done these things before with me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they can't remember or anything, and or they'll say, "Well, why didn't you remind me?" It's like, you're a grown up. Don't you have a fucking calendar?
Oh my God, these fucking people with how am I supposed to remember shit? Like, how are you supposed to? And I'm not just talking about the people who didn't show up for your show. I'm talking about people like the guy last week with the cease and desist stuff. It was 4 months in advance when I booked that. How am I supposed to remember it? Well, when you book it, you go to your own calendar and you write it down.
Right. And not only that, I am old school. I will put it in my phone, but even before I put it in my phone, I have an old-fashioned paper calendar on my refrigerator. Because I go to my refrigerator every single day.
Really?
Now I have shit that's color coded. So like my hair appointments are yellow. My comedy is green because it's supposed to make money, but it's actually more like it should be red because it doesn't. Doctor's appointment are blue. But it's color coded. So when I see a date and I see something, even if I know what I'm doing that day. It's health related. It's comedy related.
So your colonoscopy, you write that in brown?
Oh, absolutely.
What the
As a matter of
hell?
fact, I just have a smudge on it. Oh, speaking of brown, Crack the Sky is going to be in town August 10th, and I'm going to go. My wife got me tickets.
Somebody digging them up?
I didn't. Not only that, but they're performing as the crow flies, like 2 miles from my house. When I drive there, it'll probably drive like 7 miles to get there because of all the winding roads. But where they're playing, when bands play there, I can hear them on my deck. So I'm going to be there.
You don't even have to be there. That would be good, and then you could just tell them I forgot. Crack the Sky. Yeah. Wow. Look at all, and they're all white. I was assuming at least one of them would be black. Come on. Name like Crack the Sky.
They're not the Rolling Stones,
but they got crack in the name. See? That's funny, right? All right. It's not.
Do you think they should be Meth the Sky?
Yeah, meth. Yeah. If all white boys like it is, they should change the name to Heroin the Sky. Because that's what white boys do.
But so I'm working on now. The next step now is I'm working on improving the sound.
Okay.
I'm working with the people from Plausible, and I was working with them last night, and so I'm going to do another show where we can test out the sound. Well, it's a tech rehearsal, so I'll probably just open it up to everybody so they can critique it, so I can find out, and I'll probably just redo it. I'll probably just take parts of old shows and just make a Frankenstein show. Just take parts of the ones I've already done and do it.
John, do you know Swantastic?
That is my wife.
He better know her.
Oh.
He better know her than he better know her better than the rest of us.
I did not know that. But so she said that your show was great, because she's from Battle Creek, Michigan. She said it's great. great.
Well, she grew up in Detroit.
Oh, anyway.
Anyway,
all right. When did when did you start producing? Did you start producing right out of the bat when you got into comedy?
Yeah, that was actually what we started with. We actually started with producing. We put on a show for one of our comedy friends who wanted to come to Michigan. He's from New Jersey. He does a lot of comedy in New Jersey and New York. And he's like, "Hey, I should come visit you guys," because we had it kind of coordinated, the time frame lined up with our Pride Festival. So we were like, well, let's do it. Let's try to do it with Pride, and we'll have it like the first day of Pride because he's of that. He's LGBTQIA. So
okay. I was about
so
to
we're like,
ask you
let's
why.
promote it as a Pride show, and then and I wasn't gonna be on it technically, but then finances wise, then that's usually what it comes down to. I was like, well, I'll just host it, and I never done stand up comedy. I'm like, but I was a theater kid, and I did what do you call it? Where you talk to large groups of people. Oh, group
MC?
facilitator. I
Oh,
did group
okay.
facilitator, and I was an instructor in the National Guard and all this other stuff. So I was like, it's not going to be a bit. I'm like, I'll just write something, and then it went well, and then I was like, okay, well, I should probably keep at it. So, but producing was the main thing that we did.
It's producing rewarding because I can't imagine it would be, because I see what producers go through. Always some kind of bullshit. Always somebody with a late minute excuse, cancel it, whatever, not shown, or people arguing about what they thought was gonna. It never seems to go smoothly for the producer. It always seems like, why the fuck did I do this? It's more aggravation than it's worth. Am I just presuming, and that's an outsider's perspective, or what's the rewards in it?
I love producing. I have a lot of fun doing it. So, and I think the reason, part of the reason why, is because the shows that I put together are shows I want to see. And I've seen all the comedians that I put on the shows, or if I haven't seen them, I have people that are really good comedy friends of mine. I should just say friends. They're friends of mine, and they'll say, "Hey, this person is really funny," and then I'll go check them out, or I'll just take their word for it because I know how funny they are, and then I'll start putting shows together. So I have a list of like probably 60 comedians that I already have planned out for what shows I want to put them in, and that will cover me for like the next 2 years probably. So I already have it, and I've already like reached out. I try to plan my shows at least 3 to 4 months out. So I'll contact all of them, get all their bios and all that other stuff, and then put it in. The biggest problems that I always have, and I think that most people have, I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but is usually the venue. What kind of support does the venue give you? And how do you obviously get butts and seats, which is like a problem for everybody in entertainment, obviously. But now we're tied in with a really good venue that actually wants to have a comedy club. It's 2 levels. Their bottom level is like pretty heavy, is a really, they have the longest bar in like Michigan or some shit. I don't know.
Damn.
Longest hand carved bar in Michigan, some shit. So their bottom level, it's called the Cricket. And so they're big on darts on the bottom level, and it's a bar and it's a pizza place. And then you go upstairs and it's like a mirror, almost a mirror image of the bottom, except there's no dartboards. And he wants that to be a comedy club. And he worked for, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this comedy club that we had in Battle Creek, but it was actually pretty famous. Like major comedians came there, and it was called Gary Field's Comedy Club. And it was there forever. And it was amazing. I actually saw the funniest comedian I've ever seen in my life at Gary Field's. And I wish I knew his goddamn name. He's probably dead, but he was the funniest person I've ever seen in my life. He had me, I was crying, laughing so hard. He used to write for Robin Williams, and he was so fucking funny. But back then, you would go to Gary Field's. This was the first time I ever saw a show, that I think was 1992. And it was $20 a ticket, and fucking worth it in 1992. And you can't get $10 for a ticket now for comedy. It's like fucking insane.
Yeah.
But he used to work at Gary Field's Comedy Club, and he's personal friends with Gary Fields, who's in his 70s now. And Gary Fields has, like, he's given him his full support and everything, but that's his dream, is to have his upstairs like the old Gary Fields Comedy Club. So It's pretty exciting. We're really invested with him. He's a very fun person to work with. So we just started working with him, and he reached out to us. So we're like excited.
I can't think of, and you made me kind of rack my brain here about any venues that have ever been supportive on Long Island.
Right,
Ever. I mean, they don't do it. They've always
shit.
assumed the bands, or from my world, is the bands or comedians were going to do all the promotional work and bring people in. All their job was to book it, put their name on the marquee, and then expect them to fill the house. And it used to be like in the late 70s and early 80s when I was first starting to do it professionally, they would take out radio commercials. They don't even do that anymore.
No.
They don't do the least bit of promotion or advertising. Not even like the free magazines that the entertainment magazines that they leave in bars. They don't even put ads in there anymore. It's just like, what the hell?
I have 3 whenever I performed on the road, I would ask them, if I send you flyers, will you put them someplace where people can get them?
Sure, yeah.
Right. And so there was one town and one club I performed at, and I sent them, they said, yeah, and we also have a sidewalk sign. I said, great. I had a sidewalk sign poster, made, and I had flyers, 8.5 by 11, but cut in half.
Yeah. Sure.
And, and 2-sided and stuff like, and so I give them, and when I get there, I don't see any of the flyers. So I assume they gave them all out. And there was no sidewalk thing there. It was sitting in the corner with nothing in it, inside in the corner, and there was nothing in it. And I said, so I get there, and I was, and then somebody would think they're being thoughtful. They said, do you need the rest of these back? And I looked, it was the flyers, and it was every last one of them that I sent. And why do I need it back? It was for that place.
Yeah, it's got the date and information about the club.
Am I supposed to take it back and scratch out the name of the club and the date and write in, or put some tape over it and use it someplace else?
Well, that's disrespectful, but I think I one up you on this.
Go ahead.
Last week,
I will one up your one up.
Well, let's see. Last week, granted, this was not like a big venue or anything. This was a senior center. But I went there to do a show, and there were flyers for everybody, every performer for the next 3 months, none for me. And then I thought that was amusing. And then when I was booking the next few months over there, I told the woman, because she was writing it down, I said, make sure you spell my name right. She held up the flyer that they had for me, and it said Matt Zappo.
So I don't know, you should have kept it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't mind being a Zappa. Okay, at least if you're gonna fuck it up, put an A on the end, and then I could make a lie out of it. Yeah, Frank's my brother, whatever. But so anybody ever spell your name wrong on a flyer? Or
sometimes they forget because I go by Beef Man. Sometimes they forget the E and they'll just put Beef Man. So I'm like, it would be fine if they hyphenated it. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. But a lot of times what's funny is these are people that know me too. So I'll go do open mics or whatever, and people will introduce me as the Beefman. I'm like, I'm not a Jewish attorney from Long Island or whatever. I'm like, God damn it. It's Beef Man. Get it fucking right. You've known me for fucking years. It's Beefman, not Beefman.
Beefman.
Yeah, I'm part of Beefman Goldberg, and shut the fuck up. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Now, as a host, have you ever done this? Because this has happened to me several times. Someone will go to introduce me, and they'll go, my good friend, and then they'll go, J.D. Anderson. I do
that every morning.
Yeah, but you do it as a ruse. These hosts who go like, and my good friend, very funny guy out of
somewhere back of the room. Out of the
never heard of this. Never heard of that state, Maryland. Yeah,
no, we did it. We did it where so the other day the owner of the club is super nice guy. So I should say it's the Cricket. It's the Cricket in Battle Creek, Michigan. Fucking awesome venue, awesome place. They have all kinds of stuff going on there all the time. Amazing pizza, cool staff, great owner. Anyway, he was practicing, calling me up because he was at the back. He was in the DJ booth. He's like, his name is Jeremy Kanaga. So he's like, I'm gonna call you up from the back of the booth. I'm like, okay, great. So he starts practicing calling me up, and he got it wrong every time. Like he either said, it's from Slaptail, your comedy, or he said it wrong like every time. I'm like, dude, all you have to do is see that backdrop. It's on the backdrop that we use. Just if you get confused, just say it up there. He's like, all right, I got it. And he still did it wrong. I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care. But it was funny. It was funny just saying, hey, dude, just read it's right there. Slaptail Nation or Slap Your Tail Comedy, brought to you by Slaptail Nation.
But as far as producing shows, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm disparaging anybody who's not like famous or any of that stuff. But when it comes to people who are famous, I have tried to put together shows that feature some of my favorite comedians and can never get them to even talk terms and all that stuff. Like what's it going to take to get you to come to, let's say, Sticks and Stones in the Hamptons for a weekend there, and I can't get them to even share any information like how much they need to get paid, what they need for accommodations and travel and all that stuff. Do you find have you tried to book any of these A-lister comedians?
No, the biggest we've tried to book are like journeyman comedians, and we've had really good success booking them. And I was like, wow, they don't ask for much money either. I guess they just travel so much that they're like, oh yeah, fuck, we'll do it for whatever. So we've tied in pretty well with some journeyman comedians, and we haven't gone for anybody big yet because the venues, we would have to get a pretty decent sized venue. But I do have a couple in mind that I'd like to try to get for Grand Rapids. And if we could find a place that we could actually get in Detroit, we would probably shoot for Detroit too.
Yeah, to me, my thought process is if I get a name that people recognize, it will fill the room for the people who are, So if I had, listen, it's not going to happen. But let's say I had a Bill Burr and he's a theater guy. Well, maybe that's shooting too big. But I don't know. I can't. Sam Talent or even Shane Gillis or something in a theater, and then had 4 or 5 local comedians on. That would be a big boom to those local comedians. That's how Chris Monty got discovered by Kevin James, was in one of these theater shows where Kevin was there and basically saw his opening act and said, I'm going to take this guy with me.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process. I cut GD off, but that happens every 50 years or so to the end of his dick, I heard.
Yeah, my understanding, because I have a few friends that are touring comics, and they'll do smaller venues, cheaper venues, and it's basically for like gas money because they're trying to get from their, let's say they have a tour, and it's like they're going from A to B, and they find out that they can hit yours between A and B, so it's like, well, it's right on the way. It's a little bit of extra money. It'll pay for food. It'll pay for gas. And I can get to the next place. Sometimes that's what happens. I can't speak for every time, but I just know I have a couple of friends who, when they tour, that's what they do.
Yeah, we had one that was one of our friends who he's a touring comedian or whatever you guys call it. We call him journeyman. I don't know if that's right or not.
Yeah. Road warriors.
Yeah, he reached out to me and he was opening he's friends with someone who's a pretty good A-level comedian. I mean, not the selling out the big theaters, but like kind of mid-range, who does clubs. And it was the same thing. He was on his way to Minnesota to do like some shows, and he was thinking he was going to be coming through Michigan and wanted to know if there was a venue that he could do. And he was pretty big, and we're like, yeah, we'll get you. We got a date lined up for him and everything. And then his travel changed, and he didn't have to go. He didn't have any stops off in Michigan. So we're like, okay, well. But yeah, that was the same thing. He's like, oh, fuck it. I'll get can I get a Thursday night or whatever? And we're like, yeah, fuck, we'll get you. And we were lucky enough to get a venue for him, but then he didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are not quite A-listers who will do smaller club, not small, but clubs and even like weird venues. Like Stanhope, I know, does bowling alleys and fucking backyard parties and stuff. Now, he's not a household name, though. But
everybody in Michigan loves Stanhope. Like, I actually had one of my friends was like, you need to reach out to him and see because he's going to be in Michigan in October, I guess. And he's like, you should reach out to him and see if he'll do a show. And I'm like, I'm a little chicken. I'm like, should I reach out to Doug Stanhope? He's kind of a big deal. So
the way I would approach that is I would go through Andy, who's on tour with him right now. Andy is this butter up guy. Andy's very accommodating. And if you reached out to Andy and said, talk to Stanhope about doing a show here. I think he loves weird rooms and small crowds like that. So.
Yeah, I think he would. I mean, like the venue that we have now is really cool. And yeah, Doug Stanhope's a pretty big name in Michigan.
Yeah, but he's not a household name. If you're outside of the comedy world, I think if you ask people, like, who's that? I never heard of him.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was like that though, like for us, he would have probably an entire room of quote stand-up comedians that would come to see him, that would love to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of comedians are the worst audience members because a lot of
I don't
times
think.
they don't laugh.
Really?
They
You
don't
think
laugh.
so? Oh my god! Some of the best shows we do, like our open mics, where it's only like there's no audience. I love doing those open mics.
Now,
If we can we
I
laugh at
don't do many open mics, but for the most part, I mean, I get laughs from the other comedians, but a lot of comedians get there and they don't. Now, maybe it's because they do the same material those open mics, every week, and so they're not doing anything new. And I only show up like once in a blue moon, so when they see me, it's all new stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's also possible.
I think I pretty much always do new stuff.
My experience from a complete outsider's perspective, somebody who goes to a lot of clubs and supports a lot of comedians, is comedians they laugh the hardest when other comedians are on stage and their stuff isn't working as they think it will.
Well, that's fun too, though. I mean, I think that's fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun too, because I hang with them in the back of the room now, and they are laughing their ass off. It makes the show far more enjoyable for me. So I like it when there are comedians who are friends with the comedian on stage who is bombing, just not bombing, but not killing it, and they just it makes my experience as a comedy club consumer or patron, it makes it much better to see them enjoying the process of seeing somebody who is good. They're a professional. They're just not having their best night, but the comedians are just eating it up.
Oh yeah, because they usually they'll give you like an awkward look, because if you're all together, they'll be like, "Well, that didn't fucking work" or whatever, and you're just dying laughing because you're like, "Oh, okay, that's funny."
Yeah,
I think it's enjoyable. I don't know. I like being somewhere where there's a bunch of comedians because I think it's fun. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it's just because maybe I think it's because these are all younger. I'm like one of the oldest. I'm probably like the oldest. I'm like probably 20, 25 years older than most of them. Like they're my kids' age. Most of them are my kids' age.
Well, that's why I wanted to go next. It's not necessarily the performers, but I do think performers are getting older. Like, a 15-year-old kid was at one of my paint parties, and he was cracking the room up. And I said, "Do you ever think about going into stand-up comedy?" He's going to go college first, and once he gets out of college, he's going to do it. But typically, back in the day, and again, I'm an old man, but back in the day, there were kids who were starting in their teens or early 20s at latest. Now we're seeing a lot more people starting their 40s and 50s and all that kind of stuff. Raw beginners in comedy, and you don't see that in anything else. I mean, you would never see that in rock music. Like, the guy's 50 years old and he's just making his debut. But from the patron perspective,
in rock music, if especially like if it's somebody let's say like a Barry Manilow. Now, I'm not saying Barry Manilow, but remember Barry Manilow, when he started, he was writing music for commercials,
right?
And so he could be like doing that for years and years and years, and all of a sudden go like the commercials dry up or something, because now they don't want to write their own music. They want to use other people's songs.
I get it, but I go back to Christopher Cross, and it reminded me of The Natural. People you're not a rookie at your age. People retire at your age. Christopher Cross broke through when he was 29, and he said that on Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. He said, "I'm at the age where rock stars think about their career ending, and I'm just starting." And
apparently he hadn't heard of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Yeah. Rolling Stones, but the Rolling Stones haven't done any real new music since they were 40 or 30, late 30s, and then for the last 40 years they've just been doing shows of the stuff from the 60s, right? They haven't written anything new, or they did an album last year, I saw. But from the consumer perspective, the patron perspective, because I did a thing for 21-year-old girls, and I asked them who their favorite comedian was.
Don't ask what the thing was that he did for them.
21-year-old girls, and how can I sign up?
Yeah,
that's too young for me. Anything younger than 32, I'm like,
Right. But they said, they all said Shane Gillis. One girl said Sebastian Maniscalco. But I was like, do you know them? Do you go to comedy clubs, or do you just know them from TV or for Netflix? And they, for each and every one of them, said they only know it from television. So the comedy club stuff, the live comedy stuff, I'm not seeing young people. It used to be like a date thing, but when I go to comedy clubs, I feel like everybody's my age there, and that's not good for the industry. When you're producing shows, are you seeing young people come out for comedy?
It's kind of a mixture. Part of the problem is, and this is kind of why, not to bash on Kalamazoo, but we've kind of moved away from Kalamazoo, and that's why we're in Battle Creek, and we'll do shows in other places. Kalamazoo kind of saturated the area with open mics, and we're guilty too because we're like, fuck it, we'll just do an open mic. We don't have to worry about it. It's no headache to have an open mic. Well, that's not true. So I think part of it is they can get all this free comedy right where they're drinking, and Kalamazoo is a very big on they're a brewery town. So every brewery's got like some open mic or some entertainment going. So people just go for the brewery and you just happen to be there
right
doing your stuff. So nobody wants to pay for comedy. You know, they'll pay for other stuff, but they're not like I wouldn't say they're comedy fans. They just happen to be there and they'll enjoy your free comedy.
I shouldn't complain about that at all because background is what I am, but you can't be a background comedian. You can be a background musician. I just got a gig last night where the woman just told me I just to be there in the background, but you're not supposed to take their attention away. Don't make
right.
So you're performing,
yeah,
and that's okay. I'm getting paid, and I'm just doing music and having some fun by myself. And if people enjoy it and notice there's a musician there, that's fine. But you can't do that in comedy. In comedy, you have to command their attention all the time, or you can't be background comedy.
Yeah, and especially people that are being like super loud, especially if it's someplace that it's known to have comedy that night and it's free, and you shouldn't be there surprised that they're doing comedy and planning on holding your conversations. Like, shut the fuck up. You know, we tell people all the time, like, shut the fuck up. Jesus, you could tell, it's comedy tonight. If you don't like it, get the fuck out or go somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah. Well, here's my concern as a fan of comedy, because if we don't get people going out to clubs, and you can't rely on geezers and boomers to kind of support the art form. If we don't have people going out to the club, you're just going to dilute what Netflix is shoving in front of their face. There won't be any great comedians on television because they have no training ground to get that good, and so it dilutes the art form. So I think people need to start thinking, how do we reach out to young people and get young people back into supporting live comedy? I know it sounds like I'm on a soapbox or something, but I don't think long term the industry, if you can call it an industry, can survive on just feeding boomers because we're gonna die soon. We'll die at your show. I'll come to your show and die, motherfucker.
Well, I mean, I see a fair amount of Gen X. I mean, a lot of people are my age at shows, the shows that I go to. So I feel like as long as our like my kids have my sense of humor, and I don't know that if that's the way it is for like a lot of Gen X people. So I feel like at least you can start getting that mix, because the stuff that the comedians say that are my kids' age, I can see a reflection of their parents.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my son's comedy, I'm like, I'm like, he's not dark like me, but there's a lot of the stuff he does. I'm like, I can see a reflection of me and him, like the music that he listened to when he was growing up with me, and, and the stuff that we would watch together. So I feel like there's hope. But the problem to me is that there aren't comedy clubs. It's let's go do comedy here. Let's go do comedy here.
Yeah.
As opposed to having like actual comedy clubs that people know, oh, that's a comedy club. I'm going there because that's a comedy club.
It's a lot to invest in, but just a side note here. Last time I went to see Attell, I caught the Late Show, and somebody did die. A boomer died at his early show, and we were late getting into the show because the ambulance had to come and take a dead person. He killed.
Yeah, he killed.
But yeah,
I was watching a TikTok thing the other day. It was Anthony Jeselnik yesterday, and I actually laughed out loud.
Oh, I love Jeselnik.
It was one. He says, in my hometown, a priest was found that a priest was molesting a young altar boy, in my church where I used to be an altar boy, and I thought to myself, that could have been me if I grew up to be a priest. Because he did it. I mean, he did it better, and I just thought. And so
you thought he was going to do that old hack one where it's like, "What was wrong with me? Why didn't you?"
Right.
Because everyone's done that hack joke.
Right. Yes. I have a friend of mine who does a really good version of that, not about priests and stuff. And I won't do the punchline because it's his best joke that he's written, and he doesn't want it out there until he's ready to. He's done it at open mics, but he doesn't want it like out there until he can put together like a headlining show.
Okay.
I won't repeat it, but it's so good. And I kept telling him, I said, look, I'm gonna tell you now, if you decide that you want to give up comedy, I will give you $10 for that joke.
Yeah.
Well,
even though it doesn't apply to me.
Jeselnik is a master at that stuff, the dark stuff, and the surprise. Like a big, maybe I overanalyze shit too much, and there's no maybe in that. But I've read lots of books on comedy and what makes things funny.
People reading books about comedy.
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
Yeah. Well, Steve Allen, who kind of analyzed all great from the 60s and 50s, great comedian sets, but he basically is for the consumer to understand why things are funny.
Okay.
And then when I go through Shane Gillis's thing the other night, and I'm talking when he just says white people used to be cool, and then Jackie Robinson had his first day in the game. There is nothing within that line that qualifies as what makes things funny. Like there's no surprise there. There's no setup, anticipation of a twist and turn. None of that. And it makes me say, like, well, why now? Where is the funny in that? Because I'm analyzing it from what should be one of the elements that make people laugh, and nothing is there. And it's just like, well, maybe I'm just. Maybe the world is passing me by, and I don't know what's funny anymore.
I actually have a clip of one of my jokes that I thought I would cut for you so that you could tear it apart if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Do you do a lot of taping of your shows?
I tape everything and then I watch it to see how bad it was, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, that was bad.
Wow.
And then I move on.
Any inclination to hire a professional production team to come in and do like a really slick production of a full set, 3-camera shoot, perfect audio, all that kind of lighting and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it'd have to be really good to do that. I mean, that's one of my, so because I host primarily, and then I work out my actual jokes in open mics. The jokes that I do in open mics are not the same jokes I do for hosting.
Right.
Because I am a gallows humor comedian, but gallows humor comedy doesn't work for hosting.
Yeah.
So the only practice I get for my actual comedy that I like to do is just open mics. So I would have to actually string things together, but I really want to do, not a 90-minute special. But I really would like to do a 45 to an hour.
Well, if you ever want to qualify for the worst ever competition, I think you need to do 90 minutes.
I just can't get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to be in the running for worst comedy special, but
well, I'm about to check out one. There's a guy named Alex something who just did. It's on. I think it's on HBO. It's a 90-minute comedy thing, and I'm going to watch it because it's 90 minutes.
You're like,
that's the only reason why I'm watching it. Because,
bring it, fucker.
Well, it's not that. It's just that I am. It's like, to me, 90 minutes is normal. It's hard. To me, that's what it should be. 90 minutes.
Well, a show is 90 minutes because you have an opener.
Yeah, and let me just say that 90 minutes might feel normal to you as a performer. As somebody who is a consumer, a patron who goes to, if I'm sitting there 90 minutes and there's been no change, nothing going on, my ass is hurting. I'm starting to. I tell you, as somebody who goes to see my favorite comedians. Even Attell, he was pushing it beyond an hour, and I'm thinking it's time for him to wrap this up. It's just and I'm wishing there was somebody to give him a light. As a consumer, 90 minutes does not feel right. I could see on stage for the performer, it feels normal and it feels right, but for a consumer, it feels like, fuck, come on, man. I need to pee now. And in comedy clubs, getting up to go pee is just making yourself a fodder for a joke. Hey, look at
Yeah.
So nobody wants to do that. No matter how bad you gotta pee and all that stuff. From the consumer perspective, 90 minutes is fucking torture. How dare you fucking beat me up here and I'm a prisoner.
I did one show at a theater, and it was a 90-minute set. And they said to me, because this is theater, they're used to having an intermission. I said, no problem. Now, and I didn't know how to do an intermission because I'd never done one before, but I had this idea. And I remember I just talked about this the other day, I think. I decided that at whatever point they thought it should be, 45 minutes, I would literally freeze on stage at that spot, drop the lights, and have them play "Let's All Go to the Lobby." Let's all go to the lobby. And then when intermission's over, I would be standing on that same spot, just like I was, have the lights come up, and I start talking right from where I left off.
Wow.
It's like you had the commercial on a TV show. You had the break, and then the show just picks up right where it left off.
I just Googled Netflix 90-minute comedy specials. They came up with 4. Chris Tucker live stand-up special released in July 10th, 2015 has a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes. Jandino, Whatever It Takes, the Dutch language special released in September 9th, 2016, 1 hour and 34 minutes. Grillo versus Grillo, an Italian special, and Felipe Neto, My Life Makes No Sense, 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's and it says this is an extensive list of Netflix library of all specials that are close to 90 minutes. So wow,
well, that's just Netflix.
Yeah.
Can I also say though, it shocks me when I hear people that are non-road comedians or major comedians that are working on their tight 60 minutes. I'm like, you don't have a tight 5. Why are you working on 60 minutes? Get a tight freaking 5. I have a really good friend who's been doing comedy for 10 years here locally. And, he's not as critical of comedy as I am because he doesn't produce anymore. Like I'm maybe to a fault, I'm very critical, but I'm like, this person doesn't have a tight 5 and they're talking about doing an hour. I can't imagine sitting there listening to this person for 15 minutes. I would want to shoot myself. So with all these amateur, they're very full of themselves. You're like, you're an amateur. I don't even call myself a stand-up comedian. I've only been doing it 2 years. I consider myself a producer and an entertainer. That's how I think of myself. I'm primarily, in my opinion, I'm a podcaster. That's my primary thing. So I'm like, to hear people say, oh, I got 15. I'm like, no, you don't. I've seen you. You have 5, maybe 3. I'm like, work on these increments until you're really good and have if a minute goes by, unless you're building a story and you've got the audience captured, a laugh should be occurring somewhere in there. Your first 15 seconds, generally speaking, maybe 30 seconds, you should be getting something.
Yeah. Do you find they take criticism well as a professional, or do you? Because I don't. I think comedians are some of the least receptive because they take it all, and it feels personal because they're all up there alone. They're a one-man act, one-man entity, and so if you criticize them in any way as far as what they're doing, it's gonna feel personal, and they don't necessarily, in my experience, take it well. Do you find?
I don't criticize the comedians. I have discussion with comedians about other people's sets. So if somebody asks me my opinion or like a really good opinion of their comedy, usually I tell them like, one, you probably don't want my opinion as a comedian because I've only been doing it a couple of years and your comedy is completely different from mine. Also, I'm like, but I will give you the feedback that I would give you as a producer if you want that.
Yeah.
And I've done that quite a few times for people.
And I wonder if they're open to that, because I appreciate that. I think they should listen to producers. They should listen to anybody. Because I was watching the Hedberg thing again, and he was giving this guy, the possum guy, he said, just go up there and start with some jokes. You go right into this possum thing that needs a long explanation. And the guy you could see his heart was breaking. This is Mitch telling me I suck, is what he's hearing. And Mitch wasn't saying it. He said, I love you. But start with some jokes. Do like 3 or 4 really good jokes. Get him in the mood to laugh, and then go into the possum. But as he's hearing that, you could just see in his eyes and his body language that he felt like he was getting destroyed by a friend and a confidant who was supposed to be supporting him. It's like, man, he's giving you gold advice here.
Exactly, and you should be like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned podcasting. What did that come before the comedy stuff, or you've been doing the podcast?
Oh yeah, I've been doing podcasting for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I love podcasting. I was so glad to get to have the opportunity, because I was off today because we're on vacation. We're leaving tomorrow. I was like, man, because we take a summer break and it kills me, but I have to do it for the rest of the squad. So we take a summer break for like 2 months and I don't podcast.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh God, it's so long.
Wow, yeah. 1 day is very long for me. Listen, somebody in our chat room is saying negative stuff about you. I don't like when people in the chat room say negative stuff about people on the program. I don't allow that. So take your little negativity out of here. I mean, I would never. Let's person in the chat room without your negativity. Let's just say you were on the program, I would never let somebody say negative things about you in that way.
I think though that this guy probably smells that, and he's one of those neurodivergent people, and then that probably makes him hot, and he's jerking off his tiny little winky.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, we don't need to go further on that. I was already starting to get a visual image of that, and I'm going to throw up on air.
Okay, John, you had mentioned about sharing a video. If you guys have like 4 minutes, I want to share a video that now here's the deal. When I wrote this, I think it's like 2 years old, maybe 3 years. When I wrote this, people were looking at it and going, there are no jokes in here. Why is it funny? But I'm going to play it for you.
Can you just play 3 minutes and 50 seconds? I don't have 4 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Now, do you have to give us okay, so is it one of those things that if we take it out of context, we're going to say it's not funny?
No.
Okay.
It's either funny or it isn't.
Okay, all right.
Now it's down to 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Because
I definitely want to see it. I definitely want to see it.
Okay, let's try it. Wait a minute. Are you?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking for. I think I need volume.
The volume's up.
That's way up.
Oh, I'm gonna hit play. That's what it is.
You gotta hit play.
Can you full screen it?
Grandpa, wait. What does it mean that Clarence Thomas doesn't have to disclose?
Do you want me to read this or not?
Who punishes Clarence Thomas?
I don't understand.
Who punishes Clarence Thomas? At the end, somebody's got to do it. Is it Merrick Garland? Who?
Nobody. Nobody punishes him. There are no consequences. He and Jenny live happily ever after.
You mean he wins? Jesus, Grandpa, why did you read me this thing for?
You've been very sick. You're taking this news very seriously. I think we ought to stop now.
No, I'm okay. Sit down. I'm all right.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Where were we? Oh, yes. The pit of despair. I mean, according to ProPublica, Clarence Thomas has received lots of gifts from billionaire Harlan Crow.
Gifts? What do you mean gifts?
Gifts.
You mean like Harlan Crow gave Clarence Thomas a bike?
Not exactly.
Tennis shoes? Because tennis shoes are expensive.
No.
But what kind of gifts?
Cruises on his private yacht, trips to exotic countries around the world.
Christ on a cracker, Grandpa! I'm not allowed to give my teacher any gifts over $10 for the holiday.
Well, that's different.
Why?
She's your teacher and they're friends.
Friends? My teacher is giving me valuable skills. What's Harlan Crow getting from Clarence Thomas?
Maybe some court decisions.
Maybe? Doesn't anyone know?
Well, the Democrats put in a written request to Justice Roberts to look into it.
And what did he do?
Nothing yet.
Nothing? Holy shit on a bear's ass, Grandpa! I can do nothing!
Well, the last time this happened, Justice Roberts...
The last time? The last time?
I can see this is upsetting you. I'm going to turn off my news feed and go back to reading The Princess Bride.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's just that I thought that the Supreme Court justices were above reproach. I'm okay. So what happened last time?
So, the last time this happened, Justice Roberts referred the matter to the Judicial Conference, and the Judicial Conference referred it to the Financial Disclosure Committee.
And what did the Financial Disclosure Committee do?
Nothing as far as we know.
R. Kelly on a minor, Grandpa! This is beyond belief! Harlan Crow gives Clarence Thomas hundreds of dollars worth of gifts, and everyone looks the other way?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gifts and perks.
Perks too? What kind of perks?
Well, Harlan Crow bought Clarence Thomas's mother's house and is letting her live there rent-free. He's paying the school tuition for Clarence Thomas's great-nephew, and Ginny is getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from Leonard Leo.
Don Jr. on a line of coke, Grandpa! The dread Justice Roberts is turning the Supreme Court into a pirate ship chasing ill-gotten booty. Harlan Crow is a six-figured man and bought a judge. A black man. In 2023. And now Leonard Leo has... I can't breathe, Grandpa. I can't breathe. I think I'm having a stroke.
All right. Obviously, I need to put my newsfeed away. You're getting way too distressed over this.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Sit back down, Grandpa. You can finish. I'm all right now.
Are you sure? Because I haven't even gotten to the part about Leonard Leo funneling money to Ginny Thomas through Kelly Conway and a made-up corporation, or how Justice Roberts' wife, Jane, has made millions of dollars placing lawyers at law firms, and some of which have business before the courts. That is the sound of ultimate suffering. I made that sound the night Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump, and my grandson makes it now.
Well, first of all, you lied to me. You didn't keep it to 3 minutes and 50 seconds. You went way over.
It's probably went to 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
It's about a minute long. It's about a minute long. Yeah.
I feel like that if somebody is not at all into politics, that wasn't for them. That was completely. You have to have people who, the audience for that needs to have some.
Well, I did. It was a political podcast. I
was going to say, in that vein, it works. But in like in a general audience thing, there'll be a lot of people. A lot of people. Who's Clarence Thomas? What?
No, I'm just saying because when I wrote that, one of the critiques was like, "Where are the jokes? There are no jokes. I don't understand why this is funny."
I don't know. Fred Savage had some serious quips in there that were pretty funny.
Yeah, thank you.
Fred Savage played me. I don't know if you're aware of this, but he played me on The Wonder Years.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you think I'm kidding? The guy who played his father in that show, Dan Lauria, was my father's not godson. Well, de facto godson, because the guy's real godfather died. He grew up right behind my house, and he was mimicking my father with the telescope stuff out on the lawn, and the whole dad routine on that. And Fred Savage was literally playing me at 9 years old, 8 years old. This kid who grew up on Long Island. The thing is it's a Long Island thing. This kid with the growing up in the hippie generation, but being too young to be a hippie. Totally based on my experience, and I'm not saying they based it on my life, but that I relate to that part so much because that was my childhood. Those Wonder Years, the period he's playing, the fucked up shit he went through with the girlfriends and school.
Was he abducted by Chinese people?
Yes.
Or rescued by Chinese people?
It was.
Right. Drove the delivery car.
No, there was no abduction. They took him.
No, I said rescued. I did change it to rescued because they found you.
Yes. And they took him in as one of their own and raised him like a wild Chinese person. Anyway.
I love that show.
Yeah.
That show was the first show I ever saw where you didn't realize he was daydreaming until he cut to the daydream sequence.
Right.
And other shows have tried to do it. The only show that can do it, that did it almost decent compared to the Wonder Years, was there's a couple times where JD does it on Scrubs, but the Wonder Years does it better than anybody. That was so cool when they would do that.
So coming back to you and your podcast here, I've noticed you had some awful guests on there, like Ron Kane, Stephen Ortiz, T Defenders. You've had some really terrible, disgusting, not funny people on your show. Is that the goal, to have these terrible people on your show?
It's always the goal. Well, our podcast, whenever we have people on the podcast, we always tell them, like, we're not interviewing you. You're coming on to hang out.
I try to say the same thing, but they don't get it. It's a conversation, not an interview.
Yeah, it's a conversation. With GD, we got to have GD back because the entire squad was on with GD, and we had all these technical things that crashed. And I was like, we got to have GD. It took me.
Pick a day. I can come back.
We'll definitely have you back on, because we said that as soon as they were ever like, we got to have GD back on.
It won't be any better this time. The equipment is allergic to him.
That is. Yeah.
Oh.
No, but it took me a really long time to edit that podcast to make it not sound like shit.
But you did
a good job.
Came out.
It actually came out good. I was like, oh, thank God.
You did a good job. I commend you. As a matter of fact, if next time I have a disastrous sound incident at one of my shows and I want to make it usable, I'm sending it to you and paying you money as well. But not paying.
Terrible. I have a lot of time on my hands.
What did you start the podcast during the pandemic, or was it before the pandemic?
No, it was before. Yeah, it was before the pandemic. Yep.
Congratulations, because most of the podcasts that are out there now, I mean, you could probably point to a few of the bigger names that were out there before, but when the pandemic happened, everybody got on board, and then we saw them fade. Not many people who got on during the pandemic are still doing it, but the people who have done it since before then, I take my hat off, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of bullshit that people don't see. It's not just the time you spend talking on camera or on microphone. It's all the bullshit of scheduling and dealing with people and all that stuff and setting it up. So congratulations for just. This sounds like patronizing, but you are a success just by the fact that you're still doing it. Because so many people have just failed and just given up.
Most podcasts attempted don't make it past 5 episodes.
Right. Yeah. Now, for people who don't know, you do it once a week, every week, except for the 2 months
we do it once a week. We usually release it on Sundays. We have over 250 episodes, I think. And then we've had rotating cast members throughout the years, because if they piss me off, I kick them off or whatever. Things like that.
Yeah.
But that was why I made it a squad. I'm like, well, it's like you got deployed, or you changed your duty station, so you're no longer here. Get the fuck out, or whatever.
Yeah. Now, do you put them in the can for when you take off? Do you whatever they call it, bankroll your back end there and fill up? So while you take vacation for 2 months, you can still publish stuff, or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Usually every year when we take a break, we end up doing so if it was I think this was season 6. So when we start something, usually if I release something during the summer, it's like, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 episode. And then we just do it that way. And it's usually me and like my buddy JD or something like that. We'll do an episode. Or I'll do an episode with me and my wife where we want to do something specific. Like this year, I'm just going to try. And I say this pretty much every summer. I'm going to write three or four scripts of this show that I really want to do that I still haven't done, which I think would be hilarious. But I still haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Now, is this the one about the medical conditions?
Yeah, this one is the one we call, and we've done a couple episodes like it, and it's called Sick, Definitely Dead, possibly. So we take a condition, and I tell you guys about the condition and all the disgusting things about the condition. And then my wife is going to do it where she tells like the more understandable stuff from like historical perspective. And then we're telling it to somebody who has no medical knowledge whatsoever, so that they can act as the response from the audience. And then that's how we do it. And we make it funny.
All right.
Now, I have a question for you, because you said initially you started about wanting to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have the acting bug? And have you ever considered being one of those people in medical school where they are the patient and they have to act out a disease while doctors try to diagnose them?
Actually did a joke about that this past Sunday. That was one of the clips I saved for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, that was my host set. I did that on my host set. I did a
Oh,
joke.
I did not know that. I thought it was being like original and insightful. I didn't realize I was ripping off your material.
Yeah, sir.
I apologize.
We'll be contacted by my fake attorney.
Oh shit, not him again. Didn't he just sue Matt?
Yeah, he just sent some stuff to Matt. And
could you slap Jackie Martling in the face when you see him? I might even go out there with him. But here's the deal:
you should go, because it's going to be. So we were emailing back and forth, and I'd send him, like a quote on getting him a rental car and stuff. He's like, I'm not going to get a rental car. It just makes me grouchy or something like that. Yeah. And so I was telling my wife, I'm like, Jackie thinks he's grouchy now. Wait till he rides around in a car with me for a few days. I'm like, I ain't no picnic. I'm no fucking picnic.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's seen grouchy. Wait till he sees me.
Last time he was on this program, he gave some really bad medical information. I think he did. And because we were talking about my prostate. He said, "How old are you?" 60. I'm going to be 66 next month. And he said it was something that passed for him. This idea that prostate cancer or prostate inflammation will just go away at some point. Like it only happens between 64 and 66 or 67, and then all of a sudden it goes back to normal. That's bad advice, and I should have called it out at that point. But from your perspective, I'm dying, right? I'm dying of prostate cancer, and there's nothing that can save me, right?
So on when I don't know what don't quote me on the statistics, but when they do very rarely they do autopsies on like older folks, or if they donate their bodies to science, most men, if they live to 90, are going to have prostate cancer.
Yeah.
It's just depending on like what varying degree they have it. Prostate cancer itself, generally speaking, unless it metastasizes, unless it's really aggressive, doesn't kill us.
Right.
So it's a very preventable condition. We don't even generally check, like we stopped in family practice, we stopped actually digitally checking prostates years ago.
It's aggravating as hell.
I think they just look at your urine or something.
Now you can just do a PSA, so you do a prostate-specific antigen, look for that marker, and see how elevated it is. Even if
I've been just shoving a baseball bat up my ass, and that seems to hurt.
Yeah. Does it make you pee easier though?
No. It's just
it
makes me scream, and I cry mommy a lot. I say mommy, and my wife.
Now, Matt, what type of bat is this? A wooden bat, an aluminum bat, a plastic bat, like a wiffle ball bat?
Because Louisville Slugger wooden bat, and it
so he's
a little bit.
So you're going full size. You're not even talking about the kind they give out for free at the ballpark.
No, I'm talking about
full size.
The Richie Allen special, the 42-ounce bat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I need to feel anything.
Yeah,
because it's been so many. But
no, that's bad advice.
When I was doing autopsies, and somebody,
it's way too small.
Oh, way too small. I wouldn't even feel that.
That's the kind you carry in your car.
Is this larger? How about
that's
that?
You remember Richie Allen? Richie Allen had that huge, big barrel bat. It was the heaviest bat in baseball. Anyway, when I was doing autopsy, Dr. Miller, who was my mentor, said if men live long enough, every man who lives long enough will get prostate cancer.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't die from something else first.
Right. You're going to die from, that's kind of the thought process, is you're going to die from something else. Yeah. One of the things that they do in medicine is they stop some screening exams based on what age you get, which I don't necessarily agree with, because we're living longer. So like a lot of stuff are stopped, like you're 65, you're 70. Well, we're not going to do this anymore. I'm like, well, people live to 110. Maybe we should be doing this, and give the patient the option. There was a while there too where we're like asking people, well, do you want me to check this prostate specific antigen blood test?
Yeah.
Do you not want to do this? Do you not want to do this? Not do this. The only things that I do agree with, I mean, some of the things I agree with is like, there's no reason to give somebody cholesterol medication who's 85. First of all, we have no studies on people older than that to show it has any benefit, what the fuck ever. So things like that. I'm like, why are we doing that? Like my mom's 80 years old and they have her on cholesterol medication still. I'm like, your cholesterol can't be that bad. Tell them, fuck no, you don't need to be on cholesterol medication. It's the only medicine you're on.
I'm your beneficiary.
She's not going to die. Also, statistically, and I don't quote me on the question, the actual statistic, but you are very highly probability wise, you have a good chance of making it to 100 if you make it to 80.
Wow. That's good.
So you have a higher probability of making it to 100 after the age of 80.
Does marital status make a difference? Like, do single people
only with murder, suicide?
Well,
Oh,
I
okay.
would tell you this. I know for a fact that marital status makes a difference in getting to 80, because if not for the women in my life, I would have done much more dangerous things, and they stopped me from doing stuff that definitely would have killed me.
Yeah, mine doesn't. Mine doesn't stop me. She just lets me do it.
Or
Yeah,
or at
my
least
wife
slow me
just-
down, you know.
Well, my wife used to stop me, but now that she knows that I have an insurance policy, I've given her all the information. She's
Yeah, that was your first mistake. You should
I
never
kid you.
do
I
that.
kid you not. The other day, I was out working, and I gotten attacked by mosquitoes on my forehead, just my forehead, and it swelled up so bad that my skin was aching. You know, it was so that the skin was stretched and it was aching. It was in 3 spots, and I was starting to feel like I had a headache, and I was starting to feel like a little feverish or something. And I said to my wife, I think I should maybe get checked out or something, because this just doesn't feel right. I said, could be malaria. I've never had malaria. She goes, she says, there are no malaria outbreaks in Maryland. I said, every outbreak starts with 1 patient.
Yeah, you're patient 0 for malaria in Maryland? No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
We had an outbreak on Long Island of mosquito-borne illnesses like malaria, but West Nile virus.
Yeah, West Nile.
Right, it could be West Nile. Like I said, but the thing is, but this was like a couple of days after my wife got all my insurance information, and she knew if something happened to me, how she could get it. And then all of a sudden, she doesn't give a shit about me.
It's just an extreme histamine response. It's just you just take a Benadryl, put a cold pack on, you're good.
Well, I put alcohol rubs. I did alcohol rubs, and it kind of helped to dry it out. The alcohol kind of dried it out, and its swelling went down. And
I think the alcohol works best if it's on the inside.
Yeah, if you ingest it.
That's but I was using isopropyl.
That too. That will take away your pain forever.
Yeah. Well, no, it won't. This probably explains a lot about why I'm so fucking stupid. But in my freshman year in college, we used in New Mexico, we would buy 100% wood grain alcohol, and because it was a dry state. It was still a dry state then. There was no alcohol. We would take wood alcohol and mix it with Kool-Aid. What a fucking hangover that produced. But it doesn't kill you if you dilute it enough.
Yeah, there's stories of people that back in the day when they would have the barrels and stuff, and people would tap the wrong, they would thieve the wrong barrel and just kill them because it was a wood grain alcohol. Yeah. Amazing. Dangerous. Yeah.
Back to your podcast. So, celebrity guests. Have you had any celebrity guests? Big time. Not even A-listers today, but anybody like that you kind of like comedy heroes.
No.
No.
We did our podcast a very specific way that it sounds like your friends having a conversation. So you tune in every week to see what your friends are up to.
Yeah, I get it.
Just even in the background, because
I like to make friends with people who and they say never meet your heroes. Now, I have met a few people who have made me disappointed that I met them, but that's part of.
Okay, you told me you like meeting me, you rat bastard. You told me you. Oh, that's I'm not your hero though. Never mind. Right. I'm sorry.
The thing is, for me, I love the idea of meet and greets after a comedy show. You don't see that at a fucking Rolling Stones concert, and you never see a meet and greet. But most comedians will do that, and then you get to talk to them just enough to start a conversation, but you don't get to have a real conversation. So that was my whole thing about
that. I get that. I understand because podcasting wise, I can have a conversation. I don't have any goals of meeting anybody to have an actual conversation with because I'm terrible with people that I don't know. So I'm good for about 3 minutes.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's why my book is called Talking to Strangers. I have a difficult time talking to people who know me well and I've known them all my life. They all think I'm like tongue-tied and shy and quiet and all this stuff. Strangers, I have no problem opening up with and having a long, deep conversation with. It's very weird. Yeah. But I find that because I don't worry about any judgment, I'm never going to see them again. They're not even going to remember me. The idea that I can just say, I can be true. My true self and just kind of let it all hang out.
You're just literally like, Hi, yeah. Oh, yeah, big fan, big fan. What do you think of the size of this mole? Does it look
Yes.
okay to you?
Do you think I have prostate cancer?
Can you check?
Yeah.
I need a fourth
Is this
opinion.
the right time bet to check?
Yes. Robert Klein took one look at me. He said, "You kind of have a Himmler vibe to you." Wow. From an old Jewish guy, that's not a good thing to hear as a starter for a conversation. You look like a Himmler.
Like, who was it? Brad Williams did a meet and greet for everybody. I mean, like, he just hung out like at the beginning of, I think it was the end of his show. It might have been the beginning of his show. And so everybody could just go up and take a picture with him and chat with him really quick. And I said like 2 words to him and let my wife do the rest of the talking. Because I'm like, he's just gonna realize that I am a total introvert with talking to people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, you'll see with Jackie. First of all, I am shocked that young girls are attracted to Jack. If they all want to sit on his lap, they all want to hug him. And kiss
I'm
him.
excited for that personally. I'm like, oh, sweet.
He's he's just a natural people person. He opens up to everybody. But I've seen him in these Q&As where, holy shit, this guy's like fucking Hugh Hefner. He's got a harem now. What the hell? Why?
I'm excited.
Um,
I'm excited to put him in a same room with my wife because my wife will talk nonstop also, and she'll talk over me and interrupt.
I want to see that happen. I want to see her get words in with Jack.
That's what I told her. I'm like, I'm excited because I told her, I said, I'm like, he's going to talk nonstop and it's going to drive you crazy. And so I can't wait to see your head explode where you're trying to talk and he's going to talk. I'm like, I can't wait.
Now you're making me want to go and tape all this stuff because I did when he did one at the Long Island Entertainment Hall of Fame. I did tape that thing, and I wanted to do a documentary on it because I don't think people really appreciate Jackie's full breadth of experience in the comedy world. Before Howard Stern, he was a road warrior. During Howard Stern, he was a road comic and doing all this stuff, opening up for Rodney in Vegas and all this stuff. He's got a world of experience that people don't know about. And then when you see him at these Q&As, how much he loves really relating to people and sharing his stories, it's really cool. So maybe if I didn't have to drive out back to Ohio at the end of September, I would probably drive out there. Flying, I still haven't flown since they make you get this new kind of license. I got to go get a new license to fly.
Oh yeah, the real ID or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm excited for the Q&A part big time. You know, I'm not exactly I'm not going to say I'm not excited to hang out with Jackie, but he's just going to realize I have no personality. I'm like, I just don't talk.
Like, he won't notice.
Like, yeah, if he's just talking, he won't notice. And like, my wife has an uncle. He's technically my uncle too. His Uncle Aaron, and him and I can just sit together and not say a word for like 2 hours and think we had like a great time. We're like, that was awesome. I'm like, wasn't it? I'm like, it was cool.
Yeah. Now for this event, you got a big screen. You rent out a movie theater.
The Wealthy Theater is a movie theater, and then it has other rooms in it. And it seats 400 people, so it's going to be an actual movie, and then he's going to be there for the Q&A. It's going to be really cool because we have the room for quite a while, and his movie I think is only an hour and 15 minutes. So he can do basically as long of a Q&A as he wants.
Are you gonna do because when I've seen them, they've had these radio guys come out and be on the stage as the moderator and dealing with the audience and fielding questions and all that stuff. Are you gonna play that role?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that role, and I'm gonna reach out to some of the radio stations to see if they can get Jackie on. There's a couple that I think that would probably love to have him on. Probably. More of like the classic stations and things like that. But there's one that I think might really try to get him on. It's also a syndicated radio show. I'm going to reach out to them and see if they can get him on because I know they've spoken about like Howard Stern and all the other.
Were you a Stern fan growing up?
I was a Stern fan when I was in the Army because it wasn't playing here. It was playing when I was in North Carolina. And so I would listen every morning because they came on at like
5,
6. Yeah, 5 something. So when I was driving to work, I would listen to them. And then if we had time in the barracks, we would listen to them too. So everybody I was in the Army with, we all knew obviously who Jackie was. And yeah, so
I'm surprised that more people don't, because sometimes I mention him and I just I call him Jackie. People, Jackie who? was like, dude, are you even from Long Island? How can you say Jackie Who? I mean, especially
Well,
here.
it could be Jackie Chan. He's from Long Island.
Who?
Jackie Chan.
He's not from Long Island. He's
Yeah.
from.
Are you
He's from.
sure?
Yeah.
No.
I did. I'm almost positive. You listen to him talk. That's a Long Island accent.
Is it? Mm.
Yeah. So now, with you mentioned the squad has changed. Is it because people's lives get in the way, or have there been some hard feelings or any of that kind? Do you have a Willie in your past? Is what I'm asking.
We have the reason why is because if our personalities don't mix, like if you can't have your balls busted constantly and bust back, then you don't last on our podcast. Like
right.
my wife is very good. She does not get butt hurt. She will sling it right back at you. My buddy JD, same way.
Okay, but what about the Cockman? Is that his name, Cockman? No, Cock.
You're talking about Ricky?
John Cock. Isn't it John Cock? Cock John?
Oh, Nolan. Yeah, Nolan he just kind of, so he's one of my comedy buddies here locally.
But sometimes it seems like he's getting butt hurt. Even I don't know if he is or not. He may not be, but he acts like he's butt hurt sometimes. He almost clams up.
Ride, so he goes with us. We'll ride with us to comedy stuff too. So we're doing like the same thing the entire time in a trip with him. And it's not that I don't think he gets butt hurt. He's just like, you guys are so dumb. He's just like, for your age, you guys are idiots. And we're like, yeah, we know. We like to be that way.
Yeah, because he does like stop and like it does. It almost like it's like his withdrawal resembles being butthurt.
Yeah, he's not butthurt. I think he's just shocked. Sometimes you'll hear him say a lot of times. He's like, "What is even going on right now?" He does that all the time.
Well, I have a stock answer for you next time he says you guys are so dumb for your age. Check out Matt Napo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like clearly you have not done.
I'm far older and far dumber. I think I take the trophy for dumb and old.
I like being dumb personally. That just shows that I have forgotten a lot more than people will ever learn.
Yeah. You know, that one lady we had on, the author the other day, who she was told her whole life she's dumb, and after 6 degrees hanging on the wall, she still feels dumb.
Oh yeah, you still have imposter syndrome. You still feel dumb. I feel dumb.
Yeah,
and I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, all the time. Somebody said Donald Trump Jr. had the dumbest tweet on Twitter this week, and I was like, well, at least it wasn't me for this week, because generally I expect nothing more than the dumbest tweet ever coming from me.
It's funny. I feel dumb when I'm around my wife, and when I'm doing something, because that's when I feel dumbest. When I'm on stage, I feel so smart when I'm on stage. But when I'm around my wife, I feel dumb, and it's part of it's. I know that, like, for example, if I were to tell my wife I spent, let's say, $21.99 on this, I don't know what I spent on it, but let's say I said I bought this new cooler $21, and I said now I feel bad because I found the other one that I bought the replacement. She goes, where'd you find the other one? I said, well, I found it in the truck that I was loading, and it just was sitting there for 2 days. And then she goes, well, you don't have to keep it, or something like that. Like, you can throw it away then because you replaced it. I was like, no, now I have two.
Right.
And when I say something like that, but my wife will look at me like I just said something dumb or anything, or I'll say something and she'll go, I don't know, I have to Google it. And even when she finds out that I'm right, I feel like I'm dumber, even though I've just been proven right, because it's just the way that she has a way of looking at me.
Sounds like he just likes to fuck with you.
It sounds like, but I don't think that she likes to. I think she has to.
I don't know if you know anything about wives.
It's kind of their job.
They like to make you feel stupid.
Yeah.
That's a wife's job.
Yeah, I think so.
To make you feel stupid. I don't know if you remember that in the vows, but it was when they said, "Do you promise to?" And
how long, when you did your vows, did you write your own? Both. This is to both of you. Did y'all write your own vows, and how long were they?
No, hell no.
I not only wrote, we wrote our own vows. I officiated my own, because I think I told the story before. The pastor who was supposed to show up was at a Cincinnati Bengals Giants game and got caught in traffic. And he said, I'm going to be late. And like it was sundown on the beach. So he sent an intern, this kid Danny, who had a ring through his nose. And Danny didn't even know where to stand. He didn't know how to even open a Bible. He was like holding it upside down and stuff. So I really officiated my own wedding. I basically said, just stand here. I got this. So yeah, wrote the vows and did the whole thing. Officiated my own wedding. I'm not sure I'm actually married.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody signs a certificate, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's all that matters is the certificate is legit.
He did. He made it to the house somewhere around 9:30 at night and signed the paper.
Your officiant could have been a Muppet. Really, Elmo, a guy doing Elmo could have been the officiant, and as long as all the paperwork is filled out.
Apparently, in New York State, that's true. You don't even need to have any officiant at all. You can sign the paper.
I think that's true. I think that's true everywhere in the country. And I'm just saying because when I was a minister, that was one of the things they basically just said. Really, you don't even have to be ordained. That's just for the people. As long as the paperwork is good. I mean, it's different state to state in that regard. Like sometimes you have to be ordained, sometimes you didn't. I just happen to be ordained in the state of Maryland.
How cool would it be though if you could actually just, they allow you to marry people, but how cool would it be if you could actually be the official signer of death certificates without having to have any type of like autopsy done or anyone question the type of death?
Yeah.
How cool would that
I know a lot of people who would have disappeared, on paper anyway.
Yeah.
For a price.
Have you ever been in an autopsy?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I was autopsied once.
I did 4,000 of them.
That's crazy. That would be if I was going to be a doctor, that's what I would have done was be a.
It's not. You know what? Sometimes they're interesting when the corpse starts farting in the middle of an autopsy. That's pretty fucking funny. I have to say. But often, especially with the child autopsy, it is just so fucking brutal how doctors have this ability to disconnect once it's just a body, and they like the kid will come in a bag and they'll just flap them down on the table like it used to be someone's baby you're doing that to.
Yeah.
Well, the point is used to be.
Yeah.
But it's still tough though, especially with like when they look so normal. Like one of the worst ones. I saw a couple really bad ones. One was this little child was brought in, and she looked, me and the nurse with her too were like, God, she looks like she's fine, but like in this traumatic accident, this car accident probably ruptured her aorta or something like that. I mean, complete organ damage. I mean, by trauma principle, all the energy goes to the softest part of the vehicle, which is humans. So you're like, there's just nothing but ruptured, blood vessels, everything in there, and you're like, it's poor kid.
Matt used to work with a guy, and I'm sure he could tell the story better than me. That when he saw a corpse, he didn't have any sympathy. He just thought they were fuckable.
Yeah, Kurt, the pedophile, necrophile, and necrophile. He was caught. He brought underage girls into the morgue to fuck them in the drawers where we kept bodies, and was caught. That's how he lost his job. Caught fucking 2 16-year-old girls. Give him credit. Fucking 2 16-year-olds at once at the same time.
32.
Well, yeah, and just to fuck 2 girls at the same time. Listen, I was a horn dog as well, but that's too much fucking work.
I was terrible. My first 3-way was. It was atrocious. It was like too many holes. I couldn't focus.
It's just too much for a guy. I could see 2 women and 1 guy because women are they can share chores and stuff like that.
But it was 2 women and myself, and it was I just couldn't focus.
That sounds terrible.
From the woman's perspective, I could see that, but from a guy, it's like way too much work. It's like too much responsibility here. I have a difficult time making 1 woman come. Now I got to try to make 2 women come. Give me a break. That's all. It's above my pay grade, is all I'm saying. That's where you got to call Willie. I don't know if you know this about a clit, but
Oh Yes by Fresh. I do have a song parody about that. It's called Trio, and it is on my just because my
What are you responding to? I'm not seeing. Is there something in the chat room?
No, it's just I'm responding back to Oh My Fresh. Oh Yes, I'm Fresh where she says, "Can I hear some of your parodies?"
How do you know it's a girl?
That was a parody also.
How do you know it's a? How do you know that's a female? Oh yes, I'm fresh.
Because I'm not calling a man fresh.
Oh. Funky fresh.
Yeah, I
Funky
mentioned
fresh.
that the other day. It's like fresh is definitely a female word. I'm not fresh.
I mean, if he said yes, I'm scented. Okay, I would. If he said scented,
well, that's worse. Scent is worse.
I just washed my vagina and it smells fresh.
Aromatic. If he said aromatic, maybe I'd say it was a guy.
Also bad.
Or if he smelled, yes, I smell like bacon. Okay, it could be a guy. But yes, I'm fresh. It better be a woman.
Yes, I'm fresh. Are you a woman? Are you?
Yeah.
And if so, prove it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know where these names come from. I think, and maybe I'm probably in the minority here, but I think on social media you should use your own name. It would make the world a better place. People would stop, and not that we're getting a bunch of negative comments here, but I think the easiest thing to do is you call yourself clandestine or something on Twitter, and then you could fire away troll shit and just like flame people all day long. Nobody knows who you are. You don't have your real face on there or your real name. I think if they had their real face and real name, they'd be nicer people. That's all. Anyway, do you touch on politics at all on your podcast? Or
No, not really. If I do, my wife gets mad. She's like, people aren't going to listen if you talk about politics. I'm like, well, I'm not really talking about politics. I'm just like, fuck Trump. He sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just factual. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'd be curious just because of your expertise on this and this whole, and it's not necessarily, well, it is political, no matter how you look at it. But this whole "Make America Healthy Again" thing is perplexing to me.
Stop rolling your eyes, John. Look down. John's eyes just like rolled up.
The idea here now is let's get Coke to add real cane sugar back into the product. That's the path. That's great for making America healthy again. And I'm like, shouldn't the advice be
don't drink pop?
No more fucking pop. Yeah, no more soda. No more. Have you seen what it does to like pour it on your car hood and watch what happens after 20 minutes?
Like I said, they don't have to do that. They don't have to say don't drink soda. All they have to do is stop the sugar subsidies. And then the prices will go where they should be. And then when people have a choice between, let's say, $5 for a bottle of Coke and $5 for a gallon of juice, they may pick the juice.
Well, which is also bad for you.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying. But
that's fructose.
Juice is bad for you? Like 100%, like cranberry juice is bad for me?
Sure. Read how many grams of sugar is in that?
Well, it says 100% cranberry juice, so it's fructose, right? It's not. It's not.
Yeah, so we convert that to the most usable sugar that we have. But it's still raising your blood sugar. So if you still are getting too many grams of sugar a day, we don't recommend that people drink a bunch of juice.
Oh.
Maybe 1 glass a day is okay, but in general, no. So we convert everything, like even milk, right? You're not supposed to drink a bunch of milk. That's lactose, So anything like that, you're raising your blood sugar consistently.
So this is where I get confused when I hear you saying this, because as somebody who was hypnotized by the 1980s self-help people, the juicer guy was the biggest thing. Everything should be juice. We should juice everything. Right. Remember? I don't know if you could remember that fad at all, but that was bad stuff because I bought a juicer. I stopped using it after.
But were you juicing mostly vegetables or were you juicing mostly fruit?
Fruit and vegetables, and I even fucking juice meat.
Everything it's supposed to be. We're supposed to. The bad thing about juicers, okay, so they're extracting what's important, but you're also extracting the fiber. Right. So just eat the fruit.
Yeah,
you're supposed to have a balance, right? Fiber, carbs.
Because what I found when I just went to all that juice stuff, this is probably too graphic for people, but you stop having like real bowel movements. You're just peeing at it both. You pee at it both sides, front and back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you make enough of your juice out of like beets, you're just pissing red, and people freak out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any thoughts on this? And not the political stuff, but is America unique in its unhealthy lifestyle?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have probably the most unhealthy diet of the entire world. We have the most expensive health system without having the best outcomes, which is pathetic and sad. So we spend a lot of money on healthcare, but we don't have as good outcomes as nations that don't. We have some of the worst healthcare in the world, but it's the most expensive. And we are handicapped by the things that we do. So I'll give you a good example. You could have a body mass index of 40, which is very obese. Okay. Anytime you're over and it goes by classes. So your class 1 obesity is over, 30. So 30 to 34.9, whatever. But insurance would rather have you take a medication like phentermine to try to lose weight, which we know doesn't help people lose weight. Phentermine is a stimulant. All it does is increases the heart rate, suppress your appetite a little bit. You get constipated, you get dry mouth, and it can prolong what's called the QT interval, which is electrical activity of your heart. So you're actually supposed to do an electrocardiogram, a tracing, before you even renew that person's prescription every month. Insurance will pay for phentermine, but they won't pay for something like Mounjaro or Wegovy or Ozempic or Saxenda or anything like that, which in the long run is less expensive. So instead of giving somebody something that will work, teach them how to have a balanced diet and to help them gradually lose weight, they won't do that. Or they'll pay for bariatric surgery, which we know for a fact doesn't work. It works in the short term. Most people rebound, eat around it, gain their weight back, and now they've already disrupted their natural digestive process. Maybe they have dumping syndrome, all kinds of different things. So we're already handicapped. They're going to handicap us more.
See, now what you're saying, I believe it's all true, but it doesn't make sense from a capitalism standpoint, for which these corporations, these insurance companies are, because all you're doing is keeping people around longer so you can pay smaller amounts to them forever, rather than invest in something that will get them off of collecting or taking money from from collecting from insurance companies, right? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, they are prolonging life, but there's no quality of life that they're prolonging.
Have you ever been? Oh, I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you ever been approached by a pharmaceutical company or a insurance company to do, like, say things about a drug or a treatment for money? Have you ever been approached in that?
No, that was the golden age of medicine. That's long gone.
Is it because people are bringing it up like doctors should not? We should have a law banning doctors from getting in bed with sponsorships from.
They offer things. So what they'll offer is, so when I talk about the golden age of medicine, like my doctor, he was during the golden age of medicine. When I first precepted at his office for my nurse practitioner, reps would come in all the time. They would offer trips, dinners, books, publications, all kinds of things like that. And then that all pretty much went away, and to the point where they could only offer something as simple as a pen. And then it was, oh, we could offer you this dinner, but it's a CME. In other words, a continuing medical education dinner. So you are going and you're going to get a CME for that. And you get a nice dinner. Wow. So during all that stuff, so anything that's underground like that, there are some unethical things that they'll do, but in the majority of the time that's gone away. And if it's owned by a large hospital-based system, your office, they've banned most of those people from even coming to your office.
Wow. Does a nurse practitioner have the malpractice insurance premiums that like doctors do? Do you have to take a second mortgage on your house just to keep working?
No, ours is a group practice. We have a group practice, so it covers all of us.
Wow. Now, do you call them patients, clients? What do you
call them patients? We don't do that client thing.
Do they know that you're a comedian?
The reason why I go by the Beeve Man is because I've gone by that since I started podcasting, so that if anybody ever looked up my professional credentials, they didn't see that I did podcasting or comedy or anything.
You want to keep it hidden? You're uncomfortable?
I don't care anymore. That was when I first started. I no longer care. Actually, when I got hired by my company that I work for now, because I was a contractor with them originally, and then they offered me full-time salary. And I was like, I don't really want to take that. And they're like, no, you should, work for us or whatever. I was like, okay, well, just so you know, I do this podcast. I'm not going to stop doing this podcast. I've done it for years. So you have to listen to it. And if you're okay with it, then I will take this salary position. You can never bring it up again. You can't hire, you can't fire, you can't do anything about it. I'm like, and they said, okay. So they listened to it and they're like, it's good.
I always tell people, don't listen to it. I'm vulgar and I get political and you're going to hate it. Don't listen to it. But here, I'm going to get corny with you here because I work for a lot. One of the agents that books me in hospitals and senior centers and rehabilitation centers. And there is an appreciation that music lifts these people's spirits and they live a better life when they can enjoy music. But I also think comedy and laughter is, I mean, the cliche, it's the best medicine, maybe not the best medicine, but it's a vital part of life. And I'm always trying to push you get musicians in here, why not get some comedians in here? Do you see any real health benefit correlation between laughter and quality of life?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. It does make things better. There's things that make things that are very helpful, especially at end of life or any type of trauma, or you're having a bad time, or any type of patient. And there's a reason why there's music therapy. There's actual music. They have a master's degree, music therapists. Whether we have them. I was always, I joked with my patients all the time, just to make them think about something else.
Yeah. I
And
totally
also it
dig
helps
that.
there's some, my understanding is that some chemicals that your body produces and
Mhm.
releases when you're laughing, and matter of fact, it's similar to when you're crying as well, as I understand it. It's like almost the same chemical. So it's like an emotional release as opposed to having it being pent up and eating at you.
I think you're just trying to cover up from your crowd reactions from when they should be laughing, but they are indeed crying and saying, "Please, look at that."
Well, okay, first of all, only my wife was crying, and that's because she knew I was suffering.
All right.
And
I'm not just talking about last. I'm
week.
not just talking about last week. I'm talking about in general when the people in
I'm
the
talking
audience.
about the past 20 years
Can I
of marriage.
leave? Can I leave? I don't have to stay. Well, can somebody have a light? Could you just light a light on him and tell me?
Right. I'm talking about the last 20 years of our marriage. Right.
All right. But it just seems to me, because they are very slow in appreciating it. Again, I've been telling this booking agent for 10 years, you got to get some comedians in here. Music is fine, and we see them. I don't know. I'm on a soapbox, but I think it's a very it would be advantageous and thinking out of the box medicine to start including some of that stuff.
Yeah, especially if you had comedians that really had just awesome one-liners.
Yeah.
Like just continuous one-liners.
Yeah.
I knew it. Fuck you, Steven, you fat bastard.
How
You were
dare
gonna say
you?
something, you goddamn
First of
piece of
all,
shit.
Jeselnik is at one of the top. He's in the top 1 or 1.5 comedians in the world right now.
Fucking
top
awesome.
1 or 1.5. But this Steven person, I don't know if you guys know him. Do you know? Are you aware of this?
Nobody knows who he is.
Comedian Steven, whatever his name is.
I just know he's a bastard.
I think this person knows that how much I've worked hard to try and convince Anthony Jeselnik to talk to me and to say that on my show, knowing that that's not going to help. It's just disrespectful.
I'm Team Jeselnik. Fuck that fat potato-looking bastard.
Wow.
Ortiz. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Piece of human garbage.
You work dark, right? You like dark humor.
Oh yeah. I love dark humor.
Do you have other dark comedians that you kind of, I don't know, not but
no.
guys
Who's
that
darker?
you
You
hold
or
higher?
Ron Kane? Because you had Ron Kane on your show. Who's the darker of the two?
I don't think Ron's dark. I mean, I'm pretty dark. Like I'm so dark that people don't laugh at all. I can leave a room with shocked silence. Just like
Ron has done that too. Ron can do that as well.
Yeah.
Now he's been trying. He actually has honed some of his, some of his material is honed so that he's gotten a lot better over the years. I remember when Ron first started, and he was dark and almost no laughter, and he's gotten a lot better.
What about Grown? Do you appreciate Grown? Because that came up the other day. Some people think a Grown is as good as laugh. I do. If you can get an audience to react, they're acknowledging that's funny. It's just, maybe you went a little too far, which is a good thing. But other people are looking at it like, well, that you're not doing a comedian's job.
It depends on the context of the joke and the type of comedian you are. Like I did. Sunday night, we have a really fun place that we do comedy in Grand Rapids called Mulligan's Pub. And most of the, like a bunch of comedians go there Sunday nights. And I got up and did my set, and people were laughing the whole time until I did my last joke, and they groaned. And I was like, thank you. Somebody finally filled my health meter. I'm like, there was too much laughter.
Yeah, from the audience perspective, and again, I do go to a lot of live shows, and I noticed that behind every groan, there is an acceptance of a small laugh that follows the groan, but nobody hears that. Because the groan is just pronounced, and you hear that. But after everyone, you hear like a little chuckle, and it becomes contagious, but it gets so drowned out by the demonstration of the groan that people don't understand that. And that, to me, that's validation that, ooh, that was dark, and I feel guilty at laughing about it. That's what they're really saying. I fucking bad. I feel shitty for laughing at it, but it's fucking.
I like it when half the audience is groaning and the other half is laughing. Because
I think they're serving some bad food in the place.
Yeah, I like it when people are like, God, is it okay for me? Does it make me a bad person if I laugh at this? And you can kind of see that look on their eyes, and you're like, it's okay.
Yeah,
you can laugh, because that's how you take its power away in the first place. Dark, in my opinion, part of the reason why I do dark comedy is because the world is so horrible, and there's so many horrible things, and the way you take away its power is you make fun of it.
Yeah,
I know. I do like maybe 7 to 10 minute bit about my mom's rape. She didn't rape somebody; she was raped.
Oh well.
Okay, yeah, and so it makes it a little bit.
Maybe next time. Oh, she can't. She's dead.
I just want to. I have an alibi for that night. Okay.
But I have people but even the women are crazy. Now the women laugh at it more than the men, and the men feel awkward. They laugh and then they look like, should I be laughing at this? They'll look over at their wives or girlfriends, and the girlfriends laugh.
One thing I love about being in a comedy club is these guys who need permission from their wife to laugh. They always look at their wife first before they will laugh. It's like, can I laugh at that? Is she laughing? Okay. And if you go to a comedy club and just watch the audience, at least half the guys in the room need the permission to laugh at it. It's a common thing.
Well, that's why I think comedy clubs should be. That's where you should go for your first date, because you learn.
Yeah, so much about, see that. Okay, see that.
You learn so much about a person. I mean, it runs the gambit. First of all, you get to learn what they laugh out in unguarded moments. Okay, and so you find out what kind of sense of humor you have. Because if you have two people who were together for a long time, but their sense of humor don't match, they are going to be miserable. Especially when it comes to picking shows that they like to watch, or anything like that. They're going to be miserable. But also, you get to find out their table manners. Do they chew with their mouth open? Do they I hate, do they chew, and how do they laugh? Do they laugh like this? That's something else. You don't want that around your family. Wow. So I think you learn so much about the people on a first date.
You know how much I hate to agree with you, but I have to agree with you on this. But there's one other element that I don't think you mentioned. Is from the audience perspective and from a performance perspective. These people that laugh like this, and nothing comes out, no sound comes out.
Sammy Davis Jr., when he would do that and fall over sometimes.
But no sound comes out. It's like, what? Right. Are you phony laughing? Is this like your way of saying that's funny? But I'm not really laughing.
Yeah. The other, I guess, the other positive from that too, GD, that you didn't mention is that you don't actually talk.
Yes.
Well,
that's even better.
But you get to talk before, because before the show starts, you get to talk.
I would just be like, this show's about to start.
Because sometimes, quite often, people are there for like a half an hour beforehand while they're eating and drinking and getting their seats, and you're talking while you're in line, that kind of stuff. So I think first dates should take place at comedy clubs, because I think
that's a pretty good idea. I was
80%.
Thinking...
I think you learn 80% about a person. If you're paying attention, you'll learn so much more in those few hours than you will, because most people, when they're dating in the beginning, there's a facade. It's like I want them to like, especially if I want them to like me before they get to know me, and then I'll let them find out about me. But at a comedy club, if you get, if you get those unguarded moments, you find out there's their sick twistedness, and does their sick twistedness match yours? Because it doesn't matter that two people are sick or twisted, as long as they complement each other.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I think comedy clubs ought to, because I used to do that in my 20s, early 20s. That was a first date thing. Comedy clubs have priced themselves out of being a first club, especially if the tickets are, let's say, $75 each. You're $150 in for the date right there, and then the food is more expensive than a regular restaurant, and the drinks are more expensive. And by the time you're going on a date, it's a $350 date now. Where
if I owned a comedy club, I would, and this is just a trick that anybody would just go for. Whatever I could afford to, if I could afford, let's say, $15 tickets, but most parts it's like, let's say it's like 20, 25, but I can still turn a profit at 15 because of the food and drinks. I would say, if this is your first date, tickets are $15. And then
I think they should encourage young people, even if it's not your first date. But if you're under 25, there's
but I'm just
25.
saying,
They do it for seniors. Seniors get in with a senior discount. Do it for a young people discount.
I just say first date because you could be any age and have a first date.
Yeah. I mean, you could literally just market it as date night.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, there you go.
Just give them a discount, and it's not, so long as you're still turning a profit, especially if the comedian's job is to sell alcohol and food.
Yeah, well, that's what, as Matt says. I mean, that is the point. You're trying to make money for the venue to make it profitable for them. Do you have to have that show in the first place? So
so offer date night discounts or first date discounts, something like that.
I would do one better for a first night idea: comedy show at a strip club. Then you really know if this is someone you want to be with.
Yeah.
Because if they're down, you're like, okay, all right. You're okay with that.
I have my nephew, when I got engaged to my first wife, my nephew knew who she was, but he hadn't seen her for years, because he hadn't seen her for years, but he knew who she was because I knew her when I was like 13 or 14 years old. And I was probably about 30 when we got married. So he hadn't seen her for like maybe 8 or 9 years. So he and I were in Georgia. We were hanging out at the either the Gold Club or the Cheetah Club. I can't remember which one. We went to both that night. We went to both clubs that night. So I can't remember which one I was at. But my nephew goes, I don't remember what Marcia looks like. And I looked over and I went, you see that stripper there? He goes, yeah. I said, take off those 2 tattoos, and that's what your future aunt looks like. Wow. He was like, I wish you hadn't shown me that now, because I won't be able to look at her in the eye and not know what she looks like naked.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad.
All right. Now, I just want to, because we do have to wrap it up here. I know you don't have to wrap it up, but I'm going to wrap it up here. If Bear Love is listening, I'd like to extend a personal invitation for you to be on Slaptail Nation's Slaptail Squad podcast.
You're going to send an invitation.
No, that would be ugly. Wouldn't it be ugly? I don't know. Bear's a good guy.
Bear's a good guy. I mean, I can cut people off when they talk too much too. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I did try that. I did try that.
I tried that too. I mean, I did. I got feigned falling asleep, and he just kept going.
I even went as far as to say you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, he did that a lot, and I was like,
it didn't change. It didn't change anything.
No, just kept going.
I even muted my speaker so I wouldn't have to hear him, and just put in the comments, I've got him on mute, and I'll just turn it back on. I'll turn my speakers back on when his lips stop moving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless, it did. He did get publicity for being on.
So, John, let me ask you: are you a baseball fan? You a Detroit Tiger fan? Are you a baseball fan at all?
When you were talking about it earlier, I was thinking about how much baseball meant to the country when I was a kid, and so it still does. Like everybody's like, "Oh, baseball's boring." I'm like, "Yeah, it depends on when you grew up." I'm like, baseball means a lot to a lot of us, and I wish it still did mean that much because it's the whole baseball field thing. It's all awesome. So yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Tigers game in person, but yeah, of course the Tigers are my favorite. But
Yeah, they're fucking ruining the game with all these fucking gimmicks like the swing off and these start with an extra inning, start with a player already on second base and all this stuff. These are just gimmicks trying to desperately keep people's attention. And if you go to a game, it's all about the sideshows, the t-shirt gun and the girl in the outfield, the kiss cam, and all it's it's just not about.
You need to go to a minor league game.
Yeah, that's what we do. We go to the minor league games.
They're so much more entertaining than the major leagues.
Yeah, and they could get rid of all the extra stuff. I'm like, all I want is I want to watch them play baseball. I want a hot dog that doesn't cost $8, and I don't even drink beer, so I just want I want a Coke or a Pepsi. I'm like, that's what I want. I want that feeling like I had. I'll take my glove to the baseball. I'm like I did when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I love it.
There's a comedian, and I'm not going to mention his name because I've refused to promote him because.
Is it Stephen Ortiz?
It's Robert.
No, because he's not.
You're right, because he's not a comedian.
No, because he's not pleasant to me. Well, he goes out of his way to be mean, nasty, unnecessarily nasty.
No.
But he does have a joke that's kind of decent. It's baseball is like racism. If your father doesn't teach you about it when you're a kid, you don't develop any interest in it or something like that.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay, that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
Wait,
know about that joke.
He tells it differently, and it's funnier. But I'm trying to pull it up from a.
But anybody who knows him knows that joke now, and you've already identified him without identifying him. Now I don't know that joke, so I don't know him. But
no, I don't think that most people know who Ryan Nazer is. So I don't think that someone's going to hear that joke and call Ryan Nazer and say, GD bashed you because you bash him. That's not true. That's not what happens. It's just that he's really disrespectful to me. I mean, he's like really pleasant to me, like when he sees me. But when I perform,
I hate that two-faced bullshit.
Yeah. Like I've only been heckled. Let's put it this way. It was at an open mic. You're going to see people's materials quite a bit, This is something he'd seen of mine. He knew what the punchline was coming, and he yelled out the punchline just before I said it.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Oh.
And so it was a different audience, and so the audience hadn't heard it because it was an open mic, but it was different audience there, so they had not heard it. He had heard it, and he yelled out my punchline before I got to it. And so I immediately said, I started thinking of a second punchline. And I said, that's a pretty good punchline. I wish I thought of that. And now, in the meantime, I'm like vamping, and I said, but actually, and I thought of something else, and they also laughed at that. And then afterwards, I got into him, and he goes, what? I said, you yelled out my punchline. He goes, I don't remember doing that. He goes, I must be drunk,
Oh, well, at least he tried to excuse his way out of it or make an excuse.
I'm sorry, once you're
even if it was dishonest, at least he was trying to squirm away from it. I think it would be worse if he said, yeah, I did it to fuck you up, and I'm proud of it.
But he does that anyway. Like, so when he and I are on the same show, if he's hosting or if he comes up after me, he goes out of his way to misrepresent the jokes or the stories or whatever that I just did. He'll misrepresent it. And he'll go like, GD thinks it's really funny that such and such and such. And it's like, no, that's not even close to what I said. Or GD thinks he likes fucking his mother. And I'm like, that's not nowhere in there. That
sounds like this. I think this guy wants to suck your dick.
I don't think Ryan Nazer wants to suck my dick.
I think he does. I think
it's like the boy in first grade pulling the girl's hair, right?
Yep, that's what it is.
I'm not going to say his name. That's wrong. I wouldn't do that to him.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, he wouldn't say my name. So why would I give him publicity?
It sounds like he wants to shout your name.
But anyway, my point is Ryan Nazer has a really good baseball racism joke that he tells it much better than I did.
Much better than Shane Gillis's baseball racism joke.
I actually think Ryan Nazer is funnier than Shane Gillis, but I don't think he's that funny.
Do I need to have a comedian to a funnier than Shane Gillis video to go?
Sure, why not?
I like Shane. I do. I think this is the problem with Shane's success. I think people like him so much that he can just go and get a laugh. But he's not being a comedian when he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's just being a guy that is likable enough. You see him dying there, and if he does this, I mean, please.
Dylan Brody addresses that kind of stuff. He goes, he says there are comedians who say things that aren't funny, but people laugh because they're affable.
Yeah, I think that's definitely.
He said that about me. He said that about me about something I'd done, and it was a line. He was helping me tighten up a set.
I got you back, DD. Don't worry about it. Nobody likes you.
He was helping me tighten up a set. And there was a section, he says, you don't need that. I said, but he gets a laugh. He goes, really? I said, and I didn't play him the video. I just showed him the dialogue. We're just tightening up the dialogue. But in the video, I'd already done this set. And he gets a laugh every fucking time. That one line gets a laugh every fucking time. Now, part of it is the way I say it and my facial expression. I changed my whole demeanor when I say it. But that's important. That's by design. He just sees the words on paper and goes, you don't need those words. That's redundant. I said, no, it gets a laugh. And then he says, it probably gets a laugh because you're affable.
No, you're not. Nobody likes you. I'm going to back you up here. You're the most unlikable comedian. People hate you. People hate your fucking guts. So if you're getting a laugh, you earned it. So,
thank you.
It's a backhanded compliment. Yeah, that's great.
You're welcome. All right, it's time to end this. John, it's been a pleasure. Drop by anytime. Stop in anytime. You're a welcome participant here. I don't want to call you a guest. I should give you a key so you can come and go as you please.
Oh, yes, give me a key.
Anyway, have a great day.
I'll reach out to you about being on your podcast. So we can,
definitely do that. I'll send you my video joke that I wanted to get your opinion on, so you could see the dark side. It's not that dark though. It's one of my dark ones.
Try not to give anybody too much Ozempic.
Yeah, I'll try not to. But also watch your back there, Matt. This guy sounds like a crazy guy. Sounds like he's
all right, have a great day, and don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye for now.
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen